Hello. Welcome to the Eddie Conversation Podcast. My name is Eddie V. Hill, and I am your host. This is episode number 54, and joining me today is Amaya Askew.
Hello.
Yes, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me. This is exciting and nerve-wracking.
It should be a good time,
Yeah.
everybody. So make sure you like it. All right, yeah, do all the things. Okay, Amaya, let's do some foundation building on who you are really
Okay.
quick before we jump too much into all the back and forth questions and stuff.
So who am I?
Okay, yes, go for it.
Okay. This is kind of a hard question. You can start anywhere.
I'll start for
Yeah.
you,
Okay.
if I may.
Yeah.
I think of you as we'll call it camera department
Okay.
in film. You work
Yeah.
in film. We're
Filmmakers.
Well, film. Wow. We are filmmaker folk, and you work on camera. And the dream is director of photography, cinematographer.
Mm-hmm.
We just came off of your cinematographer debut short,
Yeah.
which is very cool.
First time. Very exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of the scape that I think about, and then you also shadowed on the thing I directed recently too. So
Yes, that's how we met.
Yeah.
Yep, that was a really cool time for me. I watched your episode with Sabrina.
Oh, nice.
Yes, because I wanted to see but I kind of related to her a lot and what she experienced and my experience was with your with shadow directing and stuff. And I wish I was definitely there the ice rink skating day because I love ice
Every
skating.
day.
I wish I was there every day. Yes,
Mhm.
but I learned a lot from that. Yeah, and the way she considered you, because now this is, I guess, how I perceive you. And she said the initial phone call was she felt she was intimidated because you had your stuff together. That's exactly how I see it. I was he has it together, very professional, but you made it fun to work with.
Yeah. I wanna. Yeah, we're professionals.
Yeah.
And I operate my productions as that, and I tried to give you all. It was expectation setting, I think, is what the phone call was.
Yeah.
Was this is what you're coming into. So even though I thought that what I was bringing you guys into was a little shaky ground with the crazy feature ask that we are doing. Yeah, I'm glad that I was still able to do the professional thing, and you had a good time.
It's great.
Okay,
Great.
so let's talk about you.
Okay.
Okay, so now that we have the camera department and the dreams and whatnot, do you want to elaborate on who you are?
So yeah, aspiring DP. I come from, I guess, a background I went to community college for film in the Midwest. I'm from Missouri. Um, I have coming out here, it's nothing. I started from ground zero, no real school, I guess, on it. I know the coming out here, I just feel I know the basics. It's so it's kind of embarrassing, but um being thrown into a lot, I'm just learning as I go, just as I feel everybody is out here, So, um I guess I didn't really understand what cinematography really meant, and I knew I wanted to do stuff with camera. Um and that's all I knew. The background, that's what I know.
Okay. So how long have you been in LA again? Remind me.
I moved here 2020, June of 2020. Yeah, right when the pandemic started. My mom's like, "What the heck are you doing?" I'm like, "I have no idea, but it feels right." So,
Okay.
yeah.
So we are currently in January of 2022. That's a year and a half of pandemic LA living.
Yep.
Lovely.
Never worked on a set with no pandemic, which is crazy to think about,
Yeah, that's a bummer.
I know.
It's okay. It is what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Couple other little quick things before we fully jump in. I guess another cool reason that we talked about doing the podcast here today is I forget where we're talking about it. I f- Maybe it was okay. You also helped out on the Hot Ones thing. We'll talk a little bit about that. I
Okay.
did a Hot Ones fan challenge. Also on the YouTube channel. Check it
It was
out.
great.
You were there.
It was hot.
The sauces. Um, and you were talking about how Cynthia Strahan,
Mhm.
shout out, also a friend of the show. You were complimenting us on how well we were doing with just like talking to each other and being
Yeah.
natural and all this kind of stuff, and you were expressing that you wish you could do it too.
Yes. I wish I had the abilities you guys have. I don't know how you guys do it so well.
So no, I think you're doing just fine. So you're kind of joking, or I don't know, semi joking about starting your own podcast to kind of practice with. Because I think I was talking about how this podcast has
Uh-huh.
helped me with being comfortable with just
Uh,
speaking in
Being
front
on
of a
camera,
camera.
yeah.
Um, so that's kind of a bit what we're here today. It's a little test run. So
Yeah, I'm
let's
glad you pushed me to be here because honestly, like, I don't know. I know I said it, but like, actually being here is like different. So it's fun. I hope it helps me a
yeah.
lot.
There's quite the difference in saying a thing and then doing the
Doing,
thing.
yeah.
It's whole different. Because sometimes I know I think about this with like, for instance, I'll take a little
Do
quick
it.
detour.
Do it.
When last year around this time,
Mhm.
I had decided with a bunch of buddies that we're gonna go shoot a movie in New Mexico,
Mhm.
and it's just like a crazy thing to say you want to do,
Yeah.
and then you have to do all of the work to make it happen is a whole nother thing, and then
Mhm.
actually getting all that groundwork set, and then making the drive out to New Mexico. Because in your mind, like you've already teleported, you like the thing has
Yeah.
already got, you've already done the thing in your mind, but
Yeah.
you haven't done the thing in reality.
Yeah.
So getting in a car by yourself and driving for 12 hours is like it's just weird that you have to do the thing, even though you
Even though you
know,
wanted to do it in the first place.
yeah, you just sit down and you're there and you're doing it, and it's different than the thought of you doing it, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
So would you say it's like, oh, I guess I don't know. Like, is it harder work to actually do the thing or the process, like the thought? Like, how does that all, I guess, come together?
It's all hard.
Oh yeah, it all seems very difficult, but I guess what's the hardest part of that process? Because that for me, like maybe starting a podcast or just even doing this part, like just thinking of I wouldn't even know where to start. Like who do I talk to?
Hmm.
I don't know who to talk to.
Yeah, the hardest part. Okay, that's just it's easy to say a thing.
Mhm.
It's easy to say I want to get better at this thing. It's easy
Yeah.
to say, "Oh, my own podcast." It's easy to say, "I'm going to make a movie this year." But I mean, just the actual doing it is hard.
Yeah.
Um, Sitting down in your car and making the drive is harder than it sounds. Like it's like, "Oh, it's actually happening. It's not
Yeah.
going back." Like there's all these weird uh, thoughts that travel through. But
It's motions like, oh, it's actually happening because I'm on my way. I'm in the car driving there.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then you're just sitting there meditating. I'm speaking it from my.
Yeah.
You just sit there and you're like, well, this is hour one. I gotta
Mhm.
do 11 more hours to go. I gotta get gas. I gotta feed myself. I gotta arrive here. I gotta still do the stuff when I land there.
Yeah. All those
It's scary.
stress in one sitting. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's
That's
a
very
lot. It's
difficult.
a lot.
I can see how it's all hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I
Uh,
guess with I don't know, going back to maybe starting a podcast maybe.
no pressure.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I guess how this goes. I think it's a great idea. Like how did you I want to know how you started this. Like how did you want to do
How
this?
the
Yeah.
podcast? It's a very simple story. I'll get it over with quick.
Okay.
um So this, if you go to my website, eddievhillv.com, and you
Okay.
go to and you click podcasts, I have it's a very basic page. I think I have the latest 10 episodes in video form, and then
Mhm.
there's the Podbean hub where you can scroll through all the episodes. Um, but I have it written there that it says established October 2020.
Okay.
So essentially,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, it was an excuse to have human interaction again. And
Yeah.
at that time, I was like, I am spending a lot of time at my apartment at home, and
Mhm.
there's no filming shoots really going on, and we are advised to not hang out with people, and I feel really bad about hanging out with people,
Yeah.
and so
That was a hard time, yeah.
uh, and then yeah, just it was just hanging out for the sake of hanging out, whatever. But hanging out for a podcast was
Yeah.
okay.
I mean,
um,
small space, two people.
yeah. So
Six
I don't
feet
know.
apart.
So the more of the point was I want to talk to people, and I had a buddy. I have a buddy, Michael G. Gable.
Mhm.
Um, Shout out episode number 1.
Oh, okay.
He had his podcast going already, and I'm kind of stealing his setup here. I evolved into these microphones here.
Mhm.
I initially did some like lavs that I would lav us up and we would just chat, but I got to be on his podcast, and that was a cool thing to just see how he does it.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, it doesn't have to be that complicated. I know I wanted to add the camera in.
Mhm.
Camera was important to me because
He didn't have one?
no, his was just straight audio.
Gotcha.
Um,
Okay.
so I wanted to add the camera, and my roomie at the time, Hunter, had this camera that I have now that I bought
Oh,
from him.
lovely.
Um, that it's a documentary style camera that lets you roll infinitely,
Mhm.
so it's great for these long conversations.
Yeah.
Have the camera, I had the tripod, buy a couple mics, and I'm usually pretty good at getting just having interest in wanting to hear from others and
Mhm.
stuff. So it was yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and then I had to I was like, hey Michael, how do I get this on Apple Podcasts or Spotify? How does that like I didn't know how that part worked,
Yeah.
um, but it's easy enough.
So this is on Spotify too, like good stuff?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this gets released on YouTube in the video form, and then same day, same time, Apple Podcasts and Spotify are the two ones I push
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
That's awesome. And he started his podcast like for the same reason you did, like pandemic.
I don't know. No, his was pre, I think. His is model behavior, so he's a working model.
Gotcha.
He's been in LA for 10 years now, and he's pretty successful in what he does.
Oh,
He's
cool.
got a cool background. He does lots of artistic stuff. Um,
And so
so
you were on his podcast because you do like acting and stuff, right? No, or
no,
you're
no. He was the lead actor in my first feature. He was one of my two leads in
Gotcha.
It's What's on the Inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Was he, which one was he?
He's the
The
the love interest
boyfriend?
dude.
Got
Yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah. He's a hunk.
Yeah.
Um yeah. So I was on his podcast
Mhm.
because he doesn't just talk to models, he also talks to I don't know, photographers or he talked to me because of
Yeah.
course we were
Working.
recounting the feature experience and stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Good to
So
know. That
yes. All
kind of
right.
background.
So I figure what we can do to start is we can talk about our overlap and recount a little bit more about the your debut this last when did we shoot that? Thursday?
Thursday? Yeah, last
So
Thursday.
just a few I don't know,
Wow,
what's
that
today?
was crazy. It's Tuesday. It's almost been a week now.
Yeah, so almost
That's
a week
wild.
since the debut. We can talk about that and then talk about a little bit more maybe about the Hot Ones thing too. And
Yeah.
then we'll jump into. I have a lot of cool stuff to talk about here
Okay.
today.
uh,
Okay, so let's talk about the debut because I know for what I'm a big fan of doing is knowing what people's dreams are and
mhm.
then kind of doing what I can to help give a little stepping stone or some experience in that direction. So
Yeah.
knowing when you came to shadow me, I was asking for people to come shadow a director,
Mm-hmm.
and then on the call you're like, actually, I'm not pursuing directing.
I'm sorry. Um,
But yeah. So how?
but the reason why I did that, I was like, because we followed each other on Instagram, and for some reason I like thought we worked together, but we didn't work together at all. But that's also like another interesting about you is like you do so well connecting like with people, and I just thought it was really interesting. So it's like I just have to get to know you and like what you're about and stuff, and also um me not having like much background as I thought I had, like in the school that I went to, the college I went to back in Missouri, I wanted to like get to know um, other jobs, like other people's, like how everything works, And so from that, that's what I learned back when I shadowed you. I'm like, okay. And it was fun too. I remember the first, like we were in a cafe or something, like the very first
Mm-hmm.
top of the day or whatever, and you're like, okay, help me make these decisions on what he should wear. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know, what should he wear, but it was all exciting, and yeah, getting to
Yeah,
know all
because
that kind of
because
stuff.
I think I shared I shared the scenes ahead of time, right? So you had a
Mhm.
chance to kind of read through what we are going to be shooting on
Yep.
that first day. Because that was day one. You
Yeah.
came day one.
Yep.
And I know for me too, I was trying to figure out, okay, what team do I have here? How do I handle a shadow?
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, because one of my weaknesses I feel like is some of the aesthetic pieces on actors
Mhm.
having opinions about hair and costumes and sometimes just color in general too.
Yeah.
And I knew again that you have the cinematographer eye, and that's a lot more the thing that I'm missing.
Uh-huh.
So I utilized you for some of those early
That was
decisions.
pretty cool. I was like, okay, so this is like more into like what he does and stuff, and I know you script supervise and produce, right? Correct? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So just all of it. And then when I got to work with you on this past week
right.
as producing and stuff, um, you're just very helpful, like all around. Like I know with Beau, it was his first time directing, and stuff,
Yeah,
right?
the piece was called
Hide and seek.
Hide and Seek,
Yes.
written and directed by Beau
Beau
Nelson.
Nelson, shout out.
I'll get him on the show here for you, for you folk. Um, yes. So it was his directorial debut. I think I had mentioned as well that tried to produce a piece for him early in 2020, and then we had a shoot date that
That's
kind of
right.
overlapped with
Yeah.
the shutdown.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm
And
sorry.
it was quite it was quite an expansive cast. Like the one that we did was smaller.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was pretty elaborate.
Mhm.
So we didn't want to pack that many people in a small apartment. Either way, yes.
I felt like I was just really thankful for that opportunity because I learned a lot and just having to be like it was very professional. We had a day where we went in, we got to look at space, set up before, Beau had like the shot list and stuff, and I'm thinking like what I could have probably helped
And
and
storyboards.
storyboards, yeah, and stuff to like help out with that or what I should maybe plan next time for my own thing, and just I learned, I don't know, I'm trying to like,
So
I don't know.
okay, so let's think about the full experience.
Yeah.
How did you and okay, let's think. So initially Beau had a different story
Okay.
that he was planning on making, and we didn't get a thumbs up for the location. So
Oh.
it was like, all right, well, we have, me and Amir and Beau all had this day locked off in our schedule already.
Mhm.
So I proposed to him, you can either, hit pause on this altogether and give up,
Wow.
not give up, but
Okay.
like hold it for later, and maybe we shoot it another time.
Yeah.
Probably not, because you have to pay money for access to that sort of thing.
Gotcha.
So I threw him, was like, since we have the day, write something else to shoot. So it was kind of like a last minute. We kind of came up with this one specifically last minute.
Oh,
I think it was like
wow.
a week in advance or something like that.
The whole story and
Yeah, he
everything.
wrote it, and then needed to attach a DP.
Wow.
So, and that's where you came in.
Okay.
So how did it go with you and Beau? Like, what experience did you get from the initial conversation, and what did you guys talk about?
From the initial conversation, um, I didn't know what to expect because this is like my first time. It's honestly a lot of nerves, but
I'm sure he was feeling the same thing.
yeah, so I felt like comfortable once I was there and got to talk and like, go over things and stuff. And then once it came down to the actual day, like setting up shots and, going about like all the actions and stuff, um, he made me feel really confident in my stuff. And that's what something I needed to also work on is like finding a frame and being confident in it. And then also being like, is this like what you want? Like without trying to second guess myself too much because I do that a lot.
Mm.
Um, but also like taking something from what he doesn't like. And Amir is helpful on that too. Like he's like, "Do you like the composition of this?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. Do you?" So, you know.
I don't know. You tell me.
Yeah, I'm like, "Oh, I don't
I like
know."
it if you like it.
Yeah. So, but all overall like I thought it went smoothly. I'm not sure you've done this like more than I have. I'm um trying to get back like trying to get into scripted stuff, so I mostly like do reality, and that's like what I know, so learning scripted is like a whole different world for me, at least.
No, it's a totally whole
Yeah,
different
it's a whole
world
different
for
world.
everybody.
Yeah. So like I'm used to like because I AC normally, but I don't know, scripted world is so different. I love how it all comes together, um and that's kind of what my goals are for this year, is doing a lot more scripted stuff.
Yeah, for sure. It's great.
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't know.
I'm thinking about the short film a little bit more here too,
Hmm.
because the concept, it was an interesting concept. I'm trying to figure out what to talk about with it.
Hmm.
Um, okay. I don't know. I don't really got. I actually just was make something. All right. So I know we shot. We essentially had a rec center that we had these different sections that we can shoot in. Um, I'm trying to figure out the process on your end and how, because I know we dealt with. Okay, there's a couple of decisions because I know I read up on a couple of how to make just for funsies. We'll go through it a little bit later too, but how to make a short film. But how did, aside from the nerves and everything like that, did you have any specific approach or any prep that you did to help get you ready with chatting with other DP friends, or how did you prep in general, knowing what we were walking into?
Yeah, so my prep was all over the place. I researched all these lights and stuff, trying to get things ready, and I didn't have much of my own stuff. But then I watched a lot of YouTube videos on like how to read scripts and stuff, and I know it's like super basic, but
No, it's great.
yeah, how to like read scripts and go over and taking the storyboard and trying to like think of something in my own mind to come up with. Um, I don't know, like it was kind of all over the place for me trying to get equipment and stuff too. And then we also had two different cameras. Like it was originally just supposed to be one camera, and then we had two cameras, which helped out a lot. And then finding the settings and stuff for those and trying to get them to match, like kind of without knowing too much. It's like I did my best. I'm kind of proud.
No, it's
Yeah.
great. Okay, yeah. So I feel like it was for time too, because we had a small window to shoot this thing.
Yeah, it was
Um,
supposed to be 2 days, but we got it done in one day, which was awesome.
yeah, we
Yeah.
did it just because we could,
Yeah.
and to keep it smaller and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
And um, okay, yeah, I know we expanded to because we you were shooting on your camera, right?
Mhm.
It was the Sony A7S II,
Mhm.
and then I have the same camera as well.
Yeah.
So that was a nice happenstance way of like, well, I could just bring mine as well. And for certain setups, we could set up two cameras on it
Yeah.
and, save some time, air quotes. I'm sure we saved time, but
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah. Uh, so that was a thing.
Uh-huh.
So okay. I'm trying to think of, okay, what you mentioned that you learned some stuff.
Yeah.
what's your biggest takeaway from
Oh, Um, not only like the prep, but like the kind of making things happen fast, like in order to save time, because you were really good about like, we got to get this done and this, needs to move. And I'm like not thinking about time at all. I'm like, hopefully I don't mess anything up, you know? So, um, I guess my biggest takeaway was just working with everybody all together, like, cause I know like it's not just I'm normally like used to working in my own like little world, but working together, which is something I'm definitely gonna have to like know and do better with you, with Beau, with Amir, um, you know, taking somebody else's idea and creating it, cause I've never done that before. So,
yeah.
yeah, something I will hopefully get to do more of this year.
Yeah, and then you mentioned a little bit of the confidence in your own frames too, with knowing what looks good to you, and
Mm-hmm. Having
yeah,
yeah my
that's just experience and reps and whatnot for sure.
yeah trying to have my own eye for things rather than like, is this okay? You're gonna double check it and then I'll say it's okay,
Yeah, yeah.
which was nice.
Because I know we had a tiny. This is very small team, very small setup, equipment wise too. Like you didn't have any help on your end,
That
and
was fun. No, it was really fun. No.
that was not sarcasm.
No, it was actually fun because I'm like, okay, like this happens, like it happened. We had our own thing, and there's only one person to do it, and you guys were helped out, but like if I'd had to learn how to do that stuff fast, and it was great, like good to know. Um, how to light stuff well too. That was fun.
Yes. So okay. So Amir was producer. He also helped with sound stuff,
Mhm.
and then I was also producer, and I also helped with sound stuff, and I also AD'd,
Mhm.
um, essentially.
Yes. So I actually have a question for
Okay, sure,
you
please.
because I noticed like you were helping a lot with like Beau on like, hey, like, are you sure she should be looking this way, like her eyeline's this way and stuff, and that's like stuff I was like
I was
noticing.
also script supervisor.
Yes. So like, what is I don't know if that was like, is that normally like what you're supposed to do, or were you just helping him out, like try not to, I don't know.
Okay. In terms of the specific, what
Because I know you
specifically?
direct and stuff too.
Mhm.
Um, or is that like more script supervising, like on your like right
Okay,
shoulder
yeah,
or left shoulder?
that was specifically script supervisor notes
Mhm.
primarily.
Mhm.
Specifically, primarily. Um, yeah. So what I tried to do, because I know this. Okay, because I do direct and I have a lot more directing experience. Um, and I'm just in my mind, I set myself up for the approach of I'm Beau's friend,
Mhm.
and I've supported him for a long time, and supported each other, and I just want him to have a good experience and get some good stuff to play with in
Yeah.
the edit. And I want it to be able to cut, and I want it. So I'm trying to feed him mostly because I don't want to overstep. Because I
Right.
hate when I see newer direct. Because as a script supervisor, I work with directors a lot, and I
Mhm.
work with a lot of directors that don't direct often or haven't directed much. And there's usually somebody on set that has a lot of opinions that they don't mind sharing with this director, like a
Gotcha.
producer or a co-writer or the DP. Like who
Yeah.
knows who it is. But a director can get overrun if they don't have the confidence in their own reps underneath them. Same that you
Right.
explained
Yeah. Yeah.
as yourself. So I wanted to make sure that I was, what's the term, like you throw.
Being helpful. I don't know
I
the
was gonna say
term.
like you throw a kid into a pool and you let them swim on their
Uh
own,
huh.
and then you help them when you don't want them to drown.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Um, so that's kind of the
No.
so,
Yeah.
because I knew that he had nerves, and I know that he's gonna try not to show them, and everybody's just trying to do their thing.
Yeah.
So I was trying to give more technical notes on the setup that we shot with the guy at the library in the corner, which was played by Beau,
Mhm.
because he didn't even get to see the frame because he's
Yeah.
acting.
Right.
So I was like, you were looking camera this way, so now we're getting the reverse. They should be looking this way. FYI, So what I would do is I would just wait to see what is Amaya and Beau. What are they gonna set up?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, cool. They set up on the wrong side of the line.
So then we had, and then that's where you came
So
in,
I'm
and it was
like, all
great.
right, guys, this is the fine frame if you like. I should be cheated over here, or those little solutions. So that
Mm-hmm.
was trying to be the technical. I know sometimes I would use that script supervisor excuse where it's story based, but it's more like, hey, you mentioned before that you wanted this beat to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want the actor to also do this? Or here's I would pitch ideas on occasion too to try to elevate a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I would always first be like, any notes? No notes. We're just gonna go again. Well, how
Yeah.
about this? You want to try this? And he's like, oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. Let's try
I
that.
did notice that. You're like, no notes, and we're just gonna go again or another take just for safety and stuff. Um, yeah, it was really cool getting. So that's like stuff like now I know for next time. Like, oh, I should think about these things just as you think about them.
The eye lines and
Yeah, and like
yeah,
for frames and stuff too, you know. And that's just all of, having nerves that day. I'm like, I wasn't thinking about all these not even small details or big details, It's for the cut,
yeah.
Um,
No, no, yeah. Cinematographers sometime, yeah, yeah. That can be in the back of the mind a lot too.
mhm.
Yeah, making sure
So,
the frames match, making sure the eye lines match, making sure lighting matches. Yeah, all that stuff is your department too,
yeah.
in ways.
And see that stuff I'm learning day by day. So,
No, it's
it
great.
was good. It
That's
was fun
great.
time.
Yeah. Plus, I forget. Okay, I know we've talked about my history with short films
Mhm.
before, maybe.
Yeah.
But like I've produced so many short films, and I've helped many directors with zero experience
Mhm.
through their first and second experiences on set. So I was very confident in my approach with Beau and with you, and being that yeah, that guy.
Right, yeah. Did you
Cool.
guys that week prior, were you a part of like the writing and any of that? Cuz you said it happened so like you had to rewrite it.
Um, I know I was a part of the previous script a little bit. I gave my notes and feedback
Mhm.
and such, and then it's always suggestion based
Yeah.
for how I approach it. It's like there's no need to do this, there's no need to do that. I'm just like this is what I'm getting from it. Maybe it's worth looking at and correcting, or
Yeah,
maybe you
cuz
just leave it and that's what you want.
I remember that day one, you're like, this is what I'm taking from the story. And I'm like, did I not read into this that too much? Or did I like get the wrong story? But I was wondering like if you had more
Mm.
with the story or time with the story. Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
yeah, I mean, he pulled some hints from his previous script. His previous
Gotcha.
script, okay, what's the thing called? It's like this infinite hotel
Mm-hmm.
theory mind wrap challenge thing where this isn't spoiling your story, Bo, if you're listening. This is more of a generality thing. I forget what it's called. But the idea is there's a hotel with infinite rooms.
Mm-hmm.
And as a human, we have a hard time wrapping our head around what infinite means.
Yeah.
So I think that's what the exercise is you go into this hotel and you check in and you're like, any rooms available? And they're like, we always have rooms available. So it's like, all
Gotcha.
right, so you check in, and the way it works is every new person that comes into the hotel, you check into room number one, but then when you check in, everybody that's already checked in, they scoot down
One room.
one room. So room one goes to room two goes to room three,
Gotcha.
and then now you're in room one. And
Ah, that's kind of
so
spooky.
then the next person comes in and checks in. So there's no way for you to walk up to the like why can't I check into room like the end of the hallway? There's
Mm-hmm.
no end to the hallway. It never ends. So everybody just keeps going down.
Scooting down, yeah. Interesting.
So he wanted this infinite hallway premise, and I think the first line of dialogue that the two ladies are talking about was like, "Oh yeah, it never ends. It's kind of weird this hallway thing." So they reference his other story. So I was taking from that where there's this
Gotcha.
hotel and infinity and looping, and So I was trying to pick at him because I knew he wrote it so quick, and I've been in the same boat as a writer too, where you
Mhm.
write something and you haven't really thought through what are these characters doing? What's their background? Why are they
Mhm.
here? Like that's not really the point. You're like this dialogue's witty. I had fun with this. This joke is cool,
Yeah.
but there's no bigger why or no bigger reasoning or. So I was trying to
Gotcha.
figure out like what's going on here. What's this?
Yeah,
Is this happening? Because this is what I'm getting from it. He's like,
because the one we did was kind of, it was supposed to be like comedy, right? Or like funny, have like, funny moments. Was the other one like that at all?
yeah, they're
Yeah,
still
okay.
still same tone.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah,
It was a fun experience, that whole thing.
yeah, for sure.
I'm excited to see it. So,
Yeah, I have to check in with Beau, see how the edit's going.
yeah.
Okay. So what we're gonna do too, so you can you've been asking questions, which is great. We can do a little bit of back and forth or
Okay.
okay. What do you have on your what do you got?
Let's, I was, oh man. I guess. Cause I'm still trying to. I feel like I only like know really the surface level of you.
That's
If
fine.
you want to bring it back to the beginning of who are you?
Oh my word. Who am I?
Yeah, it's a hard question.
That's a
Yeah, it's a real question, so I
Eddie,
can
who
get
are
into my
you?
other.
Who are you? So okay. Good question.
Yeah,
Do you wanna narrow in on anything? Are you like filmmaker ready or
yeah. So when did you? You've been in Los Angeles for
okay.
quite some time, right? You're from
Yeah.
Reno.
I would say yes, I'm from Reno. Okay, let's run the brief history of Eddie.
Yeah.
Whew, taking a deep breath here. I was born into this world in Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Okay.
From there, my family. I essentially grew up in this small village town called Chama, New Mexico. That's where I went to go shoot uh,
Your movie.
my movie.
Okay, this makes sense now.
Yes, so I went there to shoot my movie last year, which was very awesome. Um, we moved from that small town
Mhm.
when I was in second grade. So
Okay.
halfway through second grade, plopped us in Nevada.
Okay.
We ended up in Winnemucca. I finished second grade there, and then from Winnemucca, ended up in Reno for third grade.
Wow.
Does that work?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then I grew up in Reno, all the way through college. So I was there forever, and went to college in an engineering field,
Oh, wow.
um,
Okay.
mining engineering. Nevada's a big mining state,
Yeah.
lots of money there. Not many people go into the field. Very high likelihood you make six figures right out of college. Beautiful, lovely. So I went that track. I never ended up working in mining, which is fine.
But you
It's for
finished
the best.
college?
I finished college.
Okay.
My last year of college, I was getting sick of all of the engineering classes, all the math classes.
I,
There's
yeah.
like ventilation classes, thermodynamics, calculus stuff. Like it's just
A
it's
lot.
it's
That's
a
a lot.
lot. And the creative was there's like this bubbling of creativity that had not been let out for a long time.
Mhm.
So my last semester, I took an intro to acting class, and that kind of helped bring out the creative Eddie that I had wanted to work on more.
Mhm.
And and now I'm here. I'm just kidding. No. Yeah. So classic college story. I graduated, and there weren't any jobs. There were lots of jobs while I was in college because the gold stock was going up super high, and all the
Yeah.
mines were expanding and exploration and expanding all their projects. But then when I graduated, gold stock plummeted, and everybody was laying off all their workers. So no jobs
Dang.
meant I guess I'll just go do the thing I actually want to do because the plan was get the six-figure job out of college, do some time working
Mhm.
in the desert in a hole in the ground and make
Uh-huh.
some good money for a while,
Yeah.
and then move to Los Angeles and figure it out.
So your
As
goal was always to move to Los
Yeah,
Angeles. Okay.
I wanted to be an actor
Yeah.
first. So I was going to move to LA as an actor. Horrible idea. That would have been horrible. I would not have made it.
I doubt it. You've gotten
No,
far.
no, 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 not as an actor. I'm just kidding. Okay. So I graduated, no
Mhm.
jobs. I'm like, all right, I'm not just going to move to LA with no money and no experience. The thought was go with money, no experience, you can make that work. But no, none of either.
Yeah.
Unlikely. So I started making my own stuff at some point to get in front of the camera um,
In Reno
in
still,
Reno.
yeah.
So I stayed in Reno. I took some scene study classes. I did a couple of community theater plays. And
So
then
cool.
and then I was like, well, the only opportunity here, like in most non-film towns, which is
Mhm.
most towns, is if you want to be an actor, there's commercial work, there's like what's print ads and like that kind of thing,
Mhm.
and then there's community theater, but there's no like narrative film space. So I wanted to be that kind of actor. I don't like theater. I don't like it. So I started making my own stuff. So I would like write it and produce it and edit it and sometimes do sound on it, and
Literally do it
I
all.
would like kind of do it all. And I just had friends that like were kind of, that were supportive and wanted to be a part of the very early ages. And I realized very quickly. I think my initial goal was I wanted to do 10 episodes of a web series was my first goal out of the
Okay.
gate. So I'm like, this is to showcase my acting.
Yeah.
But throughout the 10 episodes, I'm realizing, like, as I was getting stuff rolling and as I kept making stuff, like,
Mhm.
people saw that I was actually following through. I was able to get better and better people. And by the end of it, I'm like, I don't want to act. I don't like it. I'm
Uh-huh.
not able to get fully into it because I'm in director brain, I'm in editor brain, I'm in.
You're in all of it because you started
Yeah.
doing all of it. Yeah.
So I'm in all of it. So I'm like, I don't. My acting's not good because I'm so split brained.
Mhm.
So I never had a full real opportunity to try acting as just an actor and everybody else handling everything else.
Do you wish you could like have that
At,
whole space, to do it?
at this point, it's too far gone, I think.
Oh.
I don't know. I kind of like. I know because I do those like little Instagram reels on occasion where I'm like acting
Yeah.
across
Yeah,
myself,
that
or
I thought that's cool.
yeah, those are
Those are
fun.
fun. It's fun to watch.
Those are fun, and there's zero pressure, and I'm playing myself,
Mhm.
so super easy
Yeah.
and fun. And then I've had some director friends be like, "Oh, what? I had to have a role for you if you want to like." I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna act."
You said no. Dang.
I'm not gonna act. Sorry.
Oh wow.
But it's more like if I'm on set already as a script supervisor, and then there's like this bit part. I'm like, I don't want to split my. I'm like, no, if you want a script supervisor, I'm here to script supervise. I can't do. I'm not gonna act. So
Yeah.
no, I'm no. Ugh. Maybe one
Okay.
day. Maybe one
So
day.
from coming out of college and then doing a few acting like things, classes in college and stuff, how did you get like how did you go into directing? Like,
How
like where did that come from and how did you do it? Are you not nervous? Like, I don't know. How do you go from like
how am I? How am I now a professional?
yeah, like what?
Okay. I guess I stayed in Reno for 5 years
Mhm.
doing the thing. There's a group called a group that I started called the Reno Film Collective. So throughout that 10 episode web series, that was like over a year, I think, maybe a yearish, maybe a
Mhm.
little bit longer. I don't recall. Um, I was kind of building. I was kind of I don't know, like accident. It wasn't the goal, but I was like building a film community.
Right.
Like I wanted. It was really hard for me to get on set to gain the experience,
Mhm.
which is again like kind of why I had the shadow thing. Because I'm
Yeah.
like I know how hard it is to just stand next to a director and
Yeah, and I'm like, holy crap, like I appreciate this a lot when you threw out that opportunity. I'm like, that's like the coolest thing anybody can do for anybody in Los Angeles, I think, is just to have an opportunity.
yes, so I understand that.
Yeah.
Because like even in Reno, with the small community as it was, there's very few pockets of filmmakers that are doing mostly commercial work, or if there are narrative stuff, they have their crew and they got their people. They're
Mhm.
like, we don't need extra help, we got it.
Yeah.
So when I did my little thing, I was happy to include anybody that wanted to be there. So, yeah, burping.
It's okay.
Um, it's called Learning by Doing,
Mhm.
Trial and Error. And then I would also jump on any project that I could. So if there was an opportunity, I would PA on like a Nat Geo thing that was shooting in Tahoe for a bit. Like that's like a 2 day thing. I'm like, oh, I got to see these people go to work, or different commercial stuff, or
Mhm.
other filmmaker friends would eventually ask me to come and help out with their stuff as a PA or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, for free, sure, I'll come out. I
Yeah.
just want to, I just need to get anything I can. I'm scraping.
Scraping things
Yeah,
together, yeah.
whatever I can get
For experience?
for
Yeah.
experience. But I know it was nerve-wracking for a very long time.
Mhm.
It took a long time before I built the confidence of who you're seeing today.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I work. I would. It's embarrassing. No, it's a thing that I think happens to a lot of people
Uh-huh.
too. Like I know for a lot of my first directing stuff, where I would have like an actor friend that I worked with in one of the theater plays that I was trying to get to kind of play a part in my web series.
Mhm.
Um, and he eventually like said yes. Like I knew he was a busy dude. I knew he was good. I knew he was funny. He's a hilarious guy. I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, he's here right now. He's coming, and this other friend is coming, and then like the people that support me are here. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
So like I know like I would sweat. Like I had a lot of like nervous sweats early on in the filmmaking age, where I'm just like, this is embarrassing. It wasn't too bad, but
Yeah.
in hindsight, it was fine. But in my head, it's kind of,
It's a lot.
it's, yeah. So I would recall being so nervous that like I would just be like freaking out,
Yeah.
and then everybody would be there, and I would just be like trying to make decisions in the moment and trying to act like I knew what I was doing. And then I just kept doing it and
Yeah.
kept doing it and kept doing it. And then through the 5 years, I think I produced like 80 short films or something like that.
Wow, that's
So
crazy.
I wasn't directing all of them. I think I directed maybe 30 or so,
It's plenty. That's
which
like
is
a lot.
plenty.
Yeah.
They're like 1 day ones, kind of like what we did, which is why I'm so comfortable in that space. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've been here a billion times. Yeah,
That's
repetition,
yeah.
getting in practice, experimenting with different stuff every time, shuffling the crew members around and getting better people, getting on other stuff that you're the smaller role, and
Mhm.
then observing and then bringing that back to your thing and trying that. So
Yeah.
it's just been that kind of thing. And then eventually I ended up on a like a $7 million feature that was shooting out there, and I came in
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 Reno?
Reno, and
Okay.
I eventually landed as the personal assistant to the director,
Oh wow,
and it
okay.
was her feature debut um, film. The film's called The Mustang. You can look it up. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to check it out.
Check it
Yeah.
out. And that was kind of when I got introduced to my first script supervisor. So I had been doing it for like 5 years, but I'd never seen a script supervisor before. And
That's so interesting. Like you've never seen one before, but you've been like doing it this whole time. Like that's the interesting part to me now.
yeah, so I had my fundamentals down where I'd shot plenty, I had edited plenty.
Mhm.
I knew my way around little baby sets, and this was my first time. Like that one flipped. It went union.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, there's this experienced script supervisor, and I've never seen one before. But it turns out that I'm like perfectly built for the script supervisor role. I
Uh-huh.
just never knew it existed.
Yeah.
So I was asking her questions. I'm like, "What are you doing here? Who are you?
Yeah.
What do you do?" And she got sick one weekend,
That's not.
and there's nobody in Reno to
Mhm.
really. There's no script supervisors in Reno,
So
so
this is where Eddie jumps in.
she's like, just have Eddie do it. He's been asking lots of questions, and so I script supervised for like a weekend, and
Mhm.
she gave me the lowdown on how to take notes. Did that. sent my notes in at the end of the little stint, and she's like, Eddie, these are really good.
Yeah.
This is really good. Like, this is what you do now. That's what she told me. So I'm like, really? I guess this is what I do now. So that show wrapped, and she recommended that I take a workshop that she took from a instructor named Randy Feldman. She teaches in Santa Monica.
Okay, cool.
And it turned out I looked into it. She was teaching a workshop that was starting like a few weeks later. So I signed up.
And how did it go?
It was great.
Workshop.
It was
Nice.
it's an intensive. It was like 6 weeks of
Oh,
straight
wow.
script supervisor schooling, like 5 hours a day, 5 days a week for a month and a half of just learning the craft of script
Yeah.
supervisor. And went back to Reno, and then I moved later that year. Now I've been here for three years
In Los Angeles.
in LA. And
Nice.
yeah, I just jumped right into script supervising. I'm a script supervisor now, and then that's my bread and butter money maker,
Yeah.
and then directing on the side, getting that
So you
going.
feel most comfortable script supervising and like that's or is that
Uh,
like where you want to stay or you want to do more directing? Because to me I like always just like director, Eddie director.
no, director is the dream and the
Gotcha.
goal. I love script supervising, and I'm being that I was in Reno so long supporting other creatives, and like I'm very comfortable in that support role too. Like I
Mhm.
love supporting people and I love supporting others' visions because I know how hard it is as a director. So
Right.
giving the director that support that I will love to receive as well when I direct,
Yeah.
like script supervising 100%. Like I'm in the creative. I can see the edit. I know how it's going to cut, and having the back of the director. So I'm great at both, and directing is the dream.
Yeah. Nice. That's a good background on you. That is a great who are you? I know you much better.
That's my great.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so now I'm here and doing stuff.
Yeah. What are your goals for this year?
All right, 2022.
Mhm.
I have that New Mexico feature in post.
Gotcha.
So goal number one is getting that done. I know we're so close to locking the edit. Um, I have a lot of awesome creative friends that were a part of that, and
Mhm.
we put a lot of heart and a lot of soul and a lot of passion and a lot of time into that. So I want to follow through with that one, get that done,
Yeah.
and start submitting that to festivals, the big boys.
Yes.
Fingers crossed.
Let's do it.
Um, so that's kind of goal number one is just getting that done, getting that, just keeping that moving.
Mhm.
I also want to, as far as script supervising, I want to go union this year.
Okay. Oh, that's
I
great.
want to be rubbing elbows on those sets.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm so ready to be in the union world.
That's pretty
I'll tell you
huge.
what.
Yeah. When do you think? Like end of the year? Like you want to start that up after the edit process for
ASAP.
Okay, nice.
I know I have the days. That's a whole process of getting
Yeah.
through. I have the days. It's just filing those, getting those checked off. The whole back and forth is so clumsy through that process that
Yeah.
it's been a hassle. But so there's
That's
that.
so exciting.
I also want to make another thing. Whether I'm kind of trying to weigh whether it's going to be I'll call it elaborate. I don't know how to describe a bigger short.
Mhm.
Whether it's like one of those big festival shorts where it's like a prestige 15 to 20 minuter
Mhm.
as like a proof of concept or otherwise. Whether I want to put all the effort into making the best thing in that realm possible,
Yeah.
or essentially taking that same budget and stretching it out over another feature.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to really figure out which direction I want to go with that. But either way, I want to I want to direct another step up thing
This year.
this year.
While joining the union, while finishing your other movie, and yeah, I love it. This is
Yeah,
awesome.
while also making enough money to keep living
Yep.
here.
Oh, Los Angeles.
LA.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
great. I
great.
love talking about myself. Thanks for doing
No, of
that.
course, this is good stuff. It's a lot going on in 2022. I'm excited
Yes.
for you. It's gonna all play out good. I already know it. You're so like you're very professional and very successful.
Thank you.
So
Thank you. We shall see how it
yeah.
goes. Okay, question for you.
Okay.
This is a nice, easy one.
I don't think this is gonna be easy.
All right, this is kind of like a little fun one. I just want to
Okay.
hear about this experience and how this went because it's kind of funny.
Oh.
Um, you moved to LA again in mid 2020.
Uh-huh.
You are looking for gigs, you're applying to stuff, and
Yes.
and you find yourself applying to a game show.
Yes. Oh, I knew this was gonna come up. Oh God. Okay.
So the show, okay, so I want to hear about that. Um, the show is called Common
It's
Knowledge.
called Common Knowledge. So this is pretty much how it went.
Okay, let's hear about it.
Gosh, it's crazy. So let's see. I did my first job in 20. When did I move here? Yeah,
You said 20, you
2020.
said June 2020.
2020 in December, and then I didn't realize how this stuff went. I'm just like, still learning because I only had one job in December, and then just trying to like look for other jobs. I'm like, okay, I got one job, now what? So, and I got that one by like word of mouth. So I never actually applied to anything ever before. Um, so now I'm like looking on Staff Me Up, Facebook pages, all this stuff, and I come across a Facebook page like, for game shows. Like, I could do a game show. I've done one other thing. I think I can do a game show. So I applied as a PA, or I thought I applied as a PA, right? I sent an application out to this girl. I think her name was Nicole. We're going to call her Nicole for now. And sent an application in February. Didn't think anything of it, right? I'm like,
Do
okay.
you recall what the application included?
Yeah,
Like,
like
did you have to talk about your personality or?
basic, no, nothing, like basic things, your email, your phone number, just basic application things. It didn't say anything about position, which boom, red flag. I should have known. I was not thinking. I was just applying for anything I could. I get a phone call and she's like, "Hey, Amaya, like, we are considering you for common knowledge." I'm like, "Okay, great." And she's like, "Okay, we need the other names of your, two team members." I'm like, "Wait, what?" Like, what? I was sitting on my balcony just drinking my coffee. I'm like, "What is she talking about?" And she just keeps explaining, and I'm just like shaking my head at everything she's saying. I'm like, "I know what's happening right now. I did not like." She's telling me like she wants me to be like a game
Like a
member, a
contestant.
contestant, right? So I'm like, sure. So after that phone call, I was just kind of like just shocked. I was like, I don't know what just happened. If I should just call her back and be like, hey, listen, like I don't. This was supposed to be for a PA, but she's like, yeah, just send me the names of like two other people you want on your team. I'm like, okay, so I'll just do it. Screw it, I'll just do it, right? Let's see where this takes me. So I text my roommates. I was like, hey, do you guys want to do this? I can't tell if it's a joke. I can't tell if this is actually gonna happen. Do you want to like be on a game show? And they're like, yeah. So I send them their information, and then a week later we get a scheduled Zoom call on like you have to like practice how to play the game,
Hmm.
and then they're like, okay, we like your team. You guys have to come up with a team name. And we're like, well, crap, I don't know what we all have in common besides we live in the same house. My roommates are YouTubers. So I'm not a YouTuber. Like, I work, in film and stuff. So we're like, we'll just call us the streamers because once upon a time, I did try streaming and it was not good.
Oh
I'll never do
no.
it again. I can't
Oh no.
entertain people that aren't there watching me?
Sure, sure. Uh-huh.
So,
Practice.
yeah. So I did that. We had another Zoom call where they picked out our outfits. It was all like really coming together. I was like, "Oh my God, like we're gonna do this." So then when did we film that? That started in February where I was like, "Holy crap." And then in May um we shot our episode. It was kind of,
That's quite the lead up. That's a lot of.
yeah, it's a lot, like a big process, and I don't really know what if I'm supposed to talk about it, but like we got there and it's kind of whack, low key. Like it was a
What?
12-hour day. You show up at 8 in the morning. It's way up by past Santa Clarita, way past there.
Oh
And I'm from
wow.
Torrance. That's like far. So we get up there. We had to be there at 8 a.m. They have our team. We weren't supposed to. We can't take our phones in. So it's just me and my roommates staring at like space at each other because we don't talk that much. I don't know. So,
Yeah, yeah, you don't know how to live life without your phone. Yeah, I got you.
right,
Uh-huh.
exactly. At least, I don't know. So, um,
Staring at space.
I mean, it was 8 in the morning. I was so tired. And so we get in there. They take all the teams. We go into the space, and because of COVID, the other teams like that were like also there to compete. They were doing multiple episodes in a day. We had to be the audience. We had to like clap and cheer. So I'm like, what the heck is this? We weren't paid for it. So we just sat there, and they're like, hey, we couldn't get to your team today, but if you show up tomorrow first thing in the morning, you could be the first team. And we're like, what the heck? We spent 12 hours here, no pay, being the audience, had to drive all the way up there, no, wasn't compensated for gas or nothing. So we're like, we made it this far. We've applied in February. Who knew this was even going to happen? So then
Yeah.
we went in the next day and shot it, and it was actually pretty fun. No, we didn't win. If you do look at the episode, the other team had much easier questions, to be fair.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a potential $10,000 prize, or I don't know how it works.
Yeah. So, okay, so yeah, $10,000 grand prize. If you made it to the final like stage, if your team made it to the final stage, you at least get like $1,000. I think that's how it worked. We did not get $1,000 or $10,000. So, yeah, shout out to the country cuties who won it all. Not really. Country cuties, yeah. They didn't win the big prize either. They won $1,000 though. So,
Congrats.
yeah.
The streamers is such a lame team.
I know. They're like, what, party streamers? No, like Twitch streaming, which I can't even say I do. I don't do that.
Right, it's fine. It's fine. Nobody
knows, except for now everybody knows.
It's fine. Okay, so the funny thing, the way that I found out about this was through you guys were covered. This was like a news story.
Oh my god.
This was a news story in Springfield.
Yep, my hometown. Shout out.
So it's just adorable.
Did you watched it?
Yeah, I watched
Oh god,
I watched it.
Yeah.
No, it's very cool.
They called me. I was working on another show at the time. They're like, hey, like, we want to do this news segment. Do you and Tyler, my roommate, want to, because you guys are from the same hometown, want to be on it? We can, air this in Springfield. I was like, sure, I think. It was also very early.
Yeah, and they reached out to you.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I think about my time. I've only been on local news, like, once.
Yeah.
It was, like, I think it was the one that Cynthia pulled up in the Hot Ones.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what is this?
Was that screenshot little Zoom call thing. And I worked hard to get on that news station.
For what's on the inside. That's for that.
For It's What's on the Inside.
It's What's on the Inside, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. How was that for you?
Well, it was adorable.
Yeah. The news is fun. It's fun.
No, it's fun. I don't know. I don't like Zoom news. That's kind of a little
different.
I don't know. It's more okay. Being that I am a producer / I have AD experience, and I come from an engineering background. Like, I'm very schedule based guy and very organized, and like I love clear, concise communication. And I remember it being kind of janky on like, so when are we chatting? How's this working? What's going on? What do you want us to talk about? Like all this kind of stuff. Like, you're gonna give us you're gonna tell us at all?
Yeah.
But it was fine.
I had the same kind of experience. Like they, just like, okay, talk. I'm like, about what you wanted this. I didn't ask for this. I don't know.
They're like, we have too much on our plate. We can't actually plan. So just hit record and we'll air whatever we get. They edit.
I want to watch your news segment now. I haven't seen it, so
you can also check out me acting in my early stuff too.
Yes, I have to.
It's a good time.
Believe that. You have me inspired to start acting, though. I will say.
Okay.
After we've been joking, like, oh, I know how much you want to act, and then the latest thing that we did last week.
I forgot how that came up. Was it okay? You were shadowing me.
Yeah.
And we didn't. I told. Was there a reason that you would have been in front of camera? I don't think so.
No.
But it came
no. Background member that you guys needed extra bowlers. Some like whoever's. I forget who brought like their. somebody and their kids, but some people had to leave early, you know, they didn't want them there. You guys didn't want them there all day. That's the only thing I remember is like, oh, you want to bowl?
But I specifically remember that I wasn't going to have you doing anything
Anything
besides
else?
shadowing. It's
Exactly,
like, I
yeah.
need you here. So, but yeah, for some reason that came up, or it's like the joke started.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Like, oh, you
it's
can.
like you say you don't want to act, but I can tell you kind of want to act.
I do now, kind of. I don't know. I don't know if I ever would or could. The idea is fun for me.
The low stakes acting is fun. So like the
Okay.
Instagram reels or the like
Yeah.
that stuff is fun. And
Yeah.
then we got a cameo in Beau's piece too.
And but that was fun.
So
I can't
I
wait to see
have no
that.
idea what that looks like. I haven't looked at the footage. We can check it out
Yeah.
too before we forget.
I think that would be
Um,
fun.
so you actually do want to maybe
Yeah, okay, so I did text my friend, literally right after we shot Beau's thing. I was like, hey, I just had like a moment where I was like, I think I want to try this. He sent me links to like sign up for stuff. I haven't done it yet, but I'm like, maybe I will, but then I don't want to get taken away from what I know I actually want to do and pursue.
yeah
But I think it would be fun to dabble in, I
in
think.
the acting.
Yeah.
Okay, so probably like background work or I don't know what you
Yeah.
would. That seems central casting. I don't know.
Yeah, which brings me to like another thing was I worked on a Lifetime movie and it was quite the experience. It
I
was,
have heard things about Lifetime movies. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know if I'm like supposed to say it was awful, but yeah, it
Well,
was,
don't say the movie. You
no,
could
I
talk
won't.
about it,
Um,
and we won't check your IMDb credits either.
right. So they had no budget, not even for background actors. Like they didn't budget enough for background actors. So they had PAs, they had
Volunteers, yeah.
cost. I don't even know if I was volunteered for. They're like, hey, wear a wig, put this on. Say
Oh,
this.
you were
I was
crew.
in it, yeah. So I was like in the movie. I'm like, I had lines. I was a cheerleader. It was at the moment it was embarrassing. I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. And then when I watched, I was like, this is so embarrassing. And I was like, that's kind of fun. Like, it was kind of fun. It was
It was embarrassing in the moment, then it was embarrassing watching it.
watching it,
And
and
then
then
you came with the thought of
I was
that was
like,
actually a good time.
yeah, it was not a good time. It was funny, which I enjoy funny things. So I don't know. It was fun to think about. Like, holy crap, I'm in a movie. Who knew? Like, after being on a game show. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean yeah, that can happen for sure. I
Yeah.
know for the Mustang that feature in Reno,
Yeah.
that was the weirdest thing. Well, it was $7 million. They had money for background, and they had background plenty, but it was like it was a prison movie. So we were shooting at an abandoned
Uh huh.
prison. Um, and then sometimes, because in pre-production, the director would clarify with the AD, the assistant director, on how many background members they wanted for each scene.
Uh huh.
So they would, call that many people in for each thing. But then on the day, sometimes you're set up for stuff, and you're like, I want a background there, and then the AD's like, you didn't say you wanted any background.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, Eddie. Eddie, you're not doing anything because you're the assistant to the director. Get
Hop
get
in there.
get to costumes. They'll put you in the orange jumpsuit for prison life, and
And were you like just okay with that? Or you're like, hey, no, I want to
I was
say
kind of
more.
I was tired of it. But no,
Yeah.
sometimes it was kind of cool. I'm in the movie,
Yeah. So
but
now
I don't
I'm
have
gonna watch.
lines. I don't have lines.
It's still fun.
No, I more think about that. It almost seems like they're. I know this is a ton. For the indie style pursuit, it feels like there's a decent chance to getting your face on screen if you're
Mhm.
crew, which is
Yeah.
a weird side pursuit. Like you don't want to take a crew position in hopes
To
that you're
get
gonna
on
act.
screen. Yeah.
Like that's just annoying.
Yeah.
But if it happens, and like I said, for me too, like I've had directors be like, "Oh, I'd love for you to play this role because I think you're like hilarious and you're
Yeah.
whatever." I'm like, if I was like, that would be a cool thing if I wanted to do it. I just think about in Reno too. There's a lot of actor friends that I had that wanted just to play background. They just want to get on this movie any way they could,
Mhm.
and I'm over here, and I'm over here on crew that got to be background like 10 times,
Yeah.
where other actors that were actually pursuing it only got to be on like a couple times. And
Yeah, or just in hopes of trying to be on it
yeah,
too, which is yeah. I
so
do
it's
think
weird.
about that a lot. So
So no,
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool.
good. It was good stuff.
I hope you get to explore that.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. I think the best way, I feel like pursuing acting, not that this will become like your, if we think about narratives, you have your main storyline of camera life,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have your B storyline of like, well, I'm just gonna dabble, and
Yeah.
if something happens, cool, but otherwise, this is where my focus is.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's kind of the healthier way to go about it
That's the yeah. That's my kind of trying to
as
go that
well
way.
too,
Uh-huh.
because there's no expectations, and
Exactly.
if it doesn't work out, your life doesn't shatter.
Exactly, yeah. And I think for me, the acting, I just want to try to get more creativity out of me. I think it would help now. I don't know.
Acting for sure helps with self exploration
Okay.
and helping you discover who you are and what you present to the world.
Mm-hmm.
It comes more to the forefront. I know it helped pull me out of my shell,
That's
uh,
what I want. So,
100%.
yeah.
So like
Okay.
you just get comfortable with things that you were previously not comfortable with,
Gotcha.
and that just makes you a more open person in the real
That's
world.
what I need. That's what I want. That's why I'm like, maybe I should start a podcast. Maybe I'll act.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll
maybe
do it all.
that. Maybe take a scene study class. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
Like, I think acting class just alone challenges so many. That's a thing, but that costs money. Um,
See, I do it, but I'm also like a kind of wing it type of person, like, but classes
get
are,
cast
yeah.
and then see what
See what
happens.
happens from there.
Put that on the director. Sure,
Yeah.
that's
That's
nice.
terrible. I'm sorry because you're direct. Oh, I don't know.
You get what you get. But
Yeah.
like, I know I cast. One thing that I'm trying to challenge myself with too is I typically cast actors that I know and that I've interacted with and that I know their personalities, and I kind of cast them in roles that are similar to who they already are.
Gotcha.
So I like doing that, but I do want to challenge myself with actually taking an actor and having
That's
them play somebody that's nothing like them at all.
gotcha.
I think that sounds fun. I need to do more of that.
You can practice with me. I'll try to be somebody I'm not. I don't know if that's taken like I don't know 0 to 100.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Probably.
It's like now you're playing a I don't know what job. No,
I don't know.
I don't know.
I could be a scary person. I don't know. I
Right,
don't think I'm
that's
scary.
always the weird thing too. Is like the villains and the heroes. Normally, you hear about actors that play the nice guys on TV are
Yeah,
actually like assholes,
in real
and
life.
then like the bad guys that are just the meanest on TV are like the nicest.
Nice people in real life, yeah. So I could try doing something like
So, yeah,
that.
be like a Mean Girls thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, question for you. Did I just ask you one? No, I don't know. I think you
Uh,
just asked me one. I feel like I was talking. I'm just gonna list off a couple of projects that you worked on that the audience may be familiar with.
okay, cool.
There's two
Okay.
that I noted. You worked on the Friends reunion special,
Oh yeah, yeah, that was good.
and then I don't know. Yeah, and then you mentioned the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start, I guess, with Real Housewives because that was my very first job, and that's kind of why I have like a soft spot in my heart for reality TV. I do enjoy reality. Like I do like it because I learned a lot going up from PA, and I knew I wanted to get into camera. So then I started ACing, and so but ACing scripted and stuff, they're different, So
Hmm.
learning that, but I
How so?
learned
How so? How so?
okay. Um, from my experience, my first AC
And then to clarify, AC means
assistant camera.
okay, cool. Just in case.
Yes, my very first assistant camera job um, was I was working on Dance Pop. It's another reality TV show. Jojo Siwa, I'm a big fan now. Um, I started that as a PA actually, and then I moved up to camera PA. And then like the very last week, they're like, "Oh, you could take on the whole episode as AC." I was like, "Yes, I did it!" And so um, yeah, so I learned a lot on that show by they didn't hire. It was kind of, I don't know if it was low budget, or if they just didn't hire, or if this is how like it works for reality, is they didn't have we didn't have a grip or anything. Like I was the grip too. Like, we set up that we had a gaffer some days. Some days we didn't, like, so just getting thrown into it all. I didn't know the first thing. Didn't know the first thing about ACing, learn how to wrap cables, learn how to, um, I mean, properly set up sticks and C-stands and like basic stuff, I thought I should have learned in college, but didn't. Um, so yeah, so I kind of have like a soft spot in my heart for that because I learned a lot from it, and that's my very first thing. And then after, um, kind of backtracking, just like for getting into assistant camera, was I got another offer with the same DP I worked on from Dance Pop, and then after that show, I was kind of on my own. I'm like, what do I have? No AC and contacts. I only did PA stuff before that. So having to like start over and making my own contacts with camera and stuff was quite the challenge for me. And let's see, I did that show. I ended that show in September. So then after September all the way till here I am now, only done AC stuff with like limited contacts. I feel pretty proud of. Yeah, thank
Congratulations.
you. I'm trying not to do PA stuff, but I'm not against it because I had a lot of fun PAing, which brings me back to when I did the Friends reunion. I got onto that working on. I did another union show. It was Love Victor. It's on Hulu. I started that, and so the girl that brought me on to Friends, her name is Mishi. Shout outs to her.
I know
Yes.
Mishi.
You do know Mishi?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's great.
Mishi and CU
Yeah, how do you know them all?
And Lily.
Yes, what? This is
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Wait, I want to know.
Lily's been on the show, on the podcast.
Oh, what? Okay, this is awesome. Shout outs to all of you guys. I miss you guys. Um,
Great folk.
yeah, she was background holding me. She was, and I remember working in background with her, and I had no what is background. I have no idea. Um, so I was only on that for 3 days, and she's like, hey, like, you want to do Friends? I was like, what? Yes, like this is crazy. Friends is like a big deal. I didn't really watch it too much. I can't say that I'm like a super fan, but I know what it is. I've seen episodes. I get the show. And so working on that was a lot of fun. It was long. Like it was like started in March. I think we ended in late April. Like it was like a month-ish long.
Yeah, what was, because I didn't watch the special.
Yeah.
Was it like a full half-hour episode,
No, it
or
was like an hour and a half episode.
oh,
Like
it
it
was
was
almost
a
like a feature?
yeah, it was a reunion, and we only shot for I think two, maybe even just one day. I can't remember now. I think it was only like 1 or 2 days, but like there's so much like pre-production and like setting up and building the stage and
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
yeah.
No, okay. So as far as the production goes, wait, no, that doesn't make okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I was on it as PA, so I didn't know much about like, what everybody else was doing. Like that's when I kind of learned about like how union and stuff works because I have no idea.
It's a little different.
Yeah, so nobody really like if you're not in they don't really want to talk to you. From my standpoint, like they don't care. Not that anybody was mean. They all had their things to do. So
Yeah.
what?
That's my only worry about Union World
Yeah,
is I love non-union indie
yeah,
team bonding life. I'm assuming it sounds like it still happens in Union, but it feels very much more like work.
yeah.
It's just like actually a machine that you just jump into, you do your task, and you
Almost
clock
like
in,
9 to 5 for
and
film, but not really.
yeah, kinda. Where I
I
feel
feel you
you
on
have
that.
your lane, you stay in your lane. There's really, it's not very there's fluid. I don't know.
Yeah. It's good in
It
some things
seems
like I
a
think
little
of.
cold.
Yeah, but I do feel like the cold shoulder on a lot of like, things. So there's not much room for if you're not in to learn, I feel like. But then again, I've had amazing friends like that are in union help me out so much, like get me on things and they do non-union stuff too. So I don't know. I'm kind of like I want to join one day. I don't know where I'm at with that. Definitely not this year. Maybe before I turn 26 so I can get some insurance. But yeah. Yeah.
That's great. You got
Yeah.
some time. Yeah, because camera, that's a whole system.
Yeah.
That's a whole life plan.
Yeah. So
It's
I did meet a camera operator on Dance Pop, and his name's Mitch. He's great. He did tell me like he gave me really good advice to take things slowly, learn something, and don't rush myself into it because I want to take these steps. I'm like, okay, I'm done PAing. I'm in AC. I'm done ACing. I want to camera operate, and then done camera operating. I want to DP. But just take my time learning. I'm being honest but confident, like with what I know and what I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to keep those thoughts in my head, but I don't want to like downplay myself either.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah.
It all comes with the confidence you have in yourself.
Exactly. So,
Because I know, okay, like when I first moved to LA, I was in the same boat.
yeah.
Like I had done stuff, I had made stuff, little things.
Yeah.
Um, but I knew that I wasn't going to just come out of the gate moving to LA and being like, "Hey, I'll be your first AD."
Yeah.
It's like, what have you first AD'd or
Right.
whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
so I came out and I was volunteer PAing on stuff. Like I
Mhm.
was just same from the get go, trying to just get on set, and I had a lot of success with growing from those experiences and meeting people and whatnot. So
Mhm.
100%
Yeah.
know who you are, and then still do other stuff while also letting those people know who you really are.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they'll see that like, oh, you're a PA, but you're like really good at what you do. And, oh, you actually knew what was going on with that experience. Like there's just
Yeah.
tons of ways to showcase who you are.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity in PAing, you know? Like you can
Yeah,
meet a lot of people and that's how I met yeah, actually most of my contacts that got me to where I am now, I feel like. So,
100%,
yeah.
100%. I know I volunteer PA'd, and that turned into recurring script supervisor work
Mhm.
from a contact I made there, which turned into that also same person helping produce my last feature. So and that all came from just donating a couple of my days for this like student short or something.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy how it all snowballs. Honestly, it's like wild, but LA's big, not that big though. That's what I've come to
Yeah,
learn.
yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so what about okay, we talked about Friends reunion and
Mhm.
Housewives of Orange County. I'm gonna ask you another question.
Okay.
This is a nice easy one. I think I pulled this from your Pinterest.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't know I had Pinterest still. Let's go.
I'm assuming it's yours. You're like the only Amaya Askew on the internet, so it's kind of easy to
Let's go.
find stuff. Uh, I think you had this photo, like a little meme template photo on there that
Uh-huh.
so I'm gonna ask you about this. This is kind of like okay. This isn't like relationship advice, but
Mhm.
this is your thoughts on getting flowers as a gift from someone that likes you. How do you feel about flowers? Do you have any opinion on flowers?
Is this from like work people? Anybody? I
This
like flowers. They're great. Like, yeah. Um, yeah, wait. Who are we talking about? Are we talking about like work people?
yeah, no, like if a guy likes you and they get some flowers and they gift them. I don't know. Maybe
Would I
I'm
appreciate flowers? Yeah.
okay.
Yes, I would appreciate flowers. My favorites are carnations because they don't die fast. Oh, I have a whole list. Um, no, I like carnations. They're cheap flowers, but they last a long time, and I think the petals are pretty.
Okay. So maybe I'm just missing the mark here. I'll
Maybe, yeah.
explain I'll explain the thing. I don't know, maybe this wasn't you at all.
Okay.
So there was this commentary from this guy. I don't know. Okay. The meme template is this guy kind of talks about why gifting flowers is weird.
Okay.
Because the thought is like here I, I thought these flowers are really pretty. I killed these for you.
Thanks.
It's like they were pretty over
Okay.
there, and I like you, so I killed them. Here you go. If you want
Thanks.
them to die slower, maybe put them in water. But like the sentiment of I like you enough to go kill something is the gesture that I
Now I'm overthinking it because, like, what? No, I don't want flowers at all. I will not buy flowers. Um, I've never thought that way before. Um,
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know what this
I want to
meme
know
was
this
doing.
meme page.
I'll have to. I'll have to share it with you later.
Yeah.
Okay, so prior to hearing that, I don't know. I think I'm sure it's kind of like Christmas tree season too, where
Uh-huh.
when you go, if you buy a Christmas tree from one of those like parking lot
Like a
tree,
real tree.
yeah, the
Yeah.
real
Okay.
tree, like they farm those trees specifically to be sold in that way. So
Yeah.
it's not like they're deforesting a new forest every Christmas. It's like
Right.
this is
Trees that we planned for this.
yeah.
Yeah.
So flowers, I imagine, are kind of the same thing where
Yeah.
these are being. It's not like don't go to the neighbor's lawn and pull the flowers they planted and then gift them. Like don't do
Right.
that. But I think flower shops, I think is fine. I don't know much about the industry.
I like flower shops. I go all the time. There's this place in I don't even know the name of it, but you make your own bouquet, and that's what I like to do. I used to do that actually like every Sunday. And I don't so much, but because it's a far drive, I'm far away from
Hmm.
everything. So,
Hmm.
which is,
Okay.
yeah, I want to move up here one day, but
To the valley, the San Fernando Valley,
no,
Burb.
just Burbank. Yeah,
That's
somewhere close.
I consider it the valley.
Oh, listen, I'm still new here. I don't know. I don't know what the valley is. I just think Santa Clarita, that's the valley. That's all I know.
No, 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 no,
No?
no.
No?
I'll have to show you
Oh,
on the
yeah,
map.
please. I don't know.
Once you come over, once you crest out of once you come up the 405 and crest that crazy hill, and you come into Sherman Oaks and uh,
Sherman.
Studio City and Universal
You
City, and
consider Sherman Oaks the valley?
yeah, it's the valley.
What? Oh, I feel like that's still LA. Like, that's still the city.
Wrong,
Okay, sorry. Sorry,
wrong.
guys. All my fellow natives here.
Santa Clarita is not the valley.
Topanga Canyon. The valley.
Topanga Canyon
Yeah.
Valley.
That's the valley. Like,
It's a canyon.
oh.
Just kidding. No, I don't know.
Like,
We'll sort that out.
okay, yeah.
Anyway, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so Scooby Doo, you dressed up as Velma once.
Oh, yes.
How did you end up with Velma? Do you have a
That's
connection
a
to Velma or
Yes, I'm her best friend. No, we were thinking of this was 2020, right? Yeah. So we were just thinking of like having like a Halloween party. There's nothing to do because you couldn't go out. So it's just gonna be at our house. We invited friends after testing. We were safe people, and my roommate had his quarantine haircut. Like he didn't shave his hair. Like he didn't get a haircut. So he was looking like Shaggy. I'm like, yo, we should we should do something this year. Like, I could play as Daphne or Velma, and I already have dark hair, so I was like, I'll just do Velma. And so we got our other roommates in on it too. The other one that was on the game show, and then my other one that's there. I made everybody's costumes. I felt
oh
very
my
proud. I know I could
gosh,
be
you're
a
a costumer
costume
now.
designer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be my other calling, but that year was fun. And then this year we tried to do something all together again. Didn't really work out. So I had my
What was
moment.
the attempt?
Um, Smash Bros character. And so I don't even know how to pronounce her name. This is embarrassing.
Palutena,
Palutena.
I
Yeah,
think.
from Kid Icarus.
Yeah.
Um,
That's an elaborate one.
right. Well,
Kinda.
it was a cute girl. I was like, I like wearing wigs and dressing up, so I bought the whole thing. And then let's see, we had Mario, which was I guess from Smash, Kirby from Smash, and then my roommate is a YouTuber and he plays just Mario Kart Wii, so he was just his favorite like character off there. It wasn't a Smash character, which I was like,
What?
I know, I was like, boo, way
They,
to
they have
ruin.
enough, they have enough crossovers between those two where I'm sure you could have found.
I was like, you can't be Funky Kong. He's not in
Oh, that's
Smash.
dumb.
Yeah,
Funky Kong? He's
he's
in Mario?
Mario
Mario
Kart
Kart?
Wii.
Wii.
Wii. He only plays the Wii version. Yeah,
Not the 8
not no.
on
In
the
fact, he
Switch.
despises that game.
That's a great
Actually,
game.
yeah.
It's a great game.
I'm just kidding, Troy. If you're out there, I don't know if you really despise it. I don't know.
Just making stuff up.
I think that's what he doesn't like to play it very often, so I just assume. I
Okay,
think,
no, that's
yeah.
cool. I haven't dressed up with effort in many years.
Really? What'd you do this past year for Halloween?
I don't do anything.
What? There's so
Yeah.
much to do out here. Nothing? Nothing really suits your.
Dressing up is too much work.
It is, yeah.
I don't have. It's never been a high enough priority, and I've never. I don't. I don't know. I don't know.
That's fair.
I had a pirate costume. That I brought with me to LA when I moved.
Hmm.
I got rid of it last year in another move. I was like, I don't need this. I've been lugging it with me for many years, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I haven't put this on once since I
Used
wore it
it.
for one Halloween, and then I'm like, this is a great costume, but
It would have worked
tossed it.
last year when you had your hair and
Would have
stuff.
been great.
Yeah.
Would have been
But you
great.
done sold it. Dang.
Done gone, tossed it out.
Yeah.
Okay, your turn. Do you have
Okay.
anything left?
Yes.
Got anything else in there?
Let's see what I got in my notes and stuff. Um. Let's see. Do you have like, well, I guess a favorite project you've worked on, and can you tell me about your favorite project? And I guess your takeaway from it.
My favorite project that I've
Yeah.
worked on.
Yes. It doesn't have to be yours either. Like if you, I don't know.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
I have two answers.
Okay.
They lead into each other, I guess. In my first full year, was it in 2019? Yeah, in 2019, I script supervised for um, the McPherson sisters, the
Okay.
Hallie and Audrey, were doing their feature debut film, um, and this was like an on location 3 week, 6 days a week, I believe.
Oh wow.
Maybe? I think it was 18 days. So we shot out of town. So we went to Ojai, California. I'm not sure if you're familiar where that is.
No, I
Ojai
don't
is
even know the
very cool.
valley.
It's very hip. It's very green. It's a lovely place. And they rented out like in this cabin park. So they had all these kind of two-person cabins. So it was just one of those experiences where like we're a small-ish
Hmm.
little team, and everybody's hungry to create,
Yeah.
not literally hungry.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a passion piece that everybody was super collaborative. Everybody was awesome. We would wrap, and then we'd go back to the cabin park, and we would like have dinner together,
That's nice.
and then I had my kind of cabin mate dude that ended up DPing my first
Oh
feature.
wow.
He was the key grip, Connor Pollard, shout out.
Shout outs.
Um, so just like that full kind of 3 weeks as a unit team. I think that might have been my first like on location extended stay
Yeah.
project, and everybody was just super into it and super down and super collaborative, and
That
everybody
sounds
was
really fun. Because you guys are all together like all time. Like,
yeah.
yeah. How was it like being like in the like you had to share a cabin with somebody? You didn't get your own?
Well, we had our own rooms in the cabin.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was
yeah. It
like,
was they were
what?
fancy. They were fancy cabins with there's living room, our own kitchen, multiple bathrooms,
Yeah.
plus each our own room too. So
That's pretty
it
sick.
was
Yeah.
nice. It
When can I
was
get on
very
one of
cool.
those?
It was super cool.
On location though. So 6 days a week, you only had a day off. Like, what'd you guys do on location, like on your off days?
I recall, I think I came back home for one weekend. That's why I'm confused on whether it was 2 days or one day.
Yeah.
I don't even remember the days off.
Yeah.
I don't remember. The the point is, I remember how I felt.
Yeah, that's all that matters.
And it was wonderful.
That's
So,
amazing.
yeah, the directors were super collaborative. I know as a script supervisor, there can be difficulties including myself in certain conversations. But like on this feature, the directors will sit everybody like the main keys down is like the ADDP, the
Yeah.
two directors and me would all kind of chat about the plan of attack for each scene every day. Here's
And
the shots. Let's talk all through it as a team.
what would they tell you on that part? Because I'm so curious because I know like you take notes of what's happening during, but what do you get from talking before?
I am there to make sure that what we're shooting, we're covering everything that's scripted.
Gotcha.
So I'm just making sure that the shots being talked about cover the script. It's like, all right, great. This covers this moment. This covers this moment. And it's a chance for me to speak up on like, what about this thing that you have noted here? Like that should come up now versus
In the
after
moment.
we've planned everything out.
Right.
So it was super chill, super involved. Loved it. So then when I went to produce my last feature in New Mexico, it was going to be a similar thing, 3 weeks on location with a small team,
Mhm.
stuck together, living with each other for all that time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I remember I hearkened back. Is that the term?
I don't know. I've never heard that term.
Hearkened back to the Ojai experience. And I'm like, I want people to leave this shoot
Yeah.
with those same feelings I had leaving
Yeah.
Ojai. So, I mean, my own movie, that was an amazing experience. I love
Yeah.
it. The movie's called Chama Days,
Okay.
based on Chama, New Mexico, the
Mhm.
town. Chama Days is also the yearly celebration of the founding of the town.
Oh
So I
wow.
named it after. It has nothing to do with that whatsoever.
Gotcha.
But no, that was lovely. Being there, making my own thing, being the director,
That's huge.
and providing that environment for others and trying my best to include everybody and everybody, yeah, good living situation, shorter days than,
What you
wrapping people
yeah.
early, 10-hour days versus the 12.
That's
It
amazing.
was
That
lovely.
sounds awesome.
Got a lot of help from the community too. Like I know on our days off, we got some sponsored dinners from like local restaurants and stuff like
Oh,
that. So
nice.
trying to treat the crew,
Did you
and
put that together? You just had like, how did you get to
it's a
what?
whole thing,
Yeah,
man. It's a
yeah.
whole thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. No, it's mostly, yeah, I was there and just having conversations and seeing what I can make happen. But
Yeah.
it was important to me to try to spoil this crew and give them a good showcase of have this be a time to be remembered. And
Yeah.
do I remember it? I'll remember it for a long time, if not forever.
So the people that were on your movie were some of the people from? No, none of them.
I had nobody
Oh wow.
from Ojai in New Mexico. No.
Do you?
I did. Okay, so Chama Days was my second feature. My first feature, It Was on the Inside,
Yeah.
was DP'd by Connor, who I met in Ojai.
Mhm.
But I think nobody crewed my first movie and also crewed my second movie. Like I had a whole new team.
Did you do that on purpose?
Kinda,
Okay.
kinda. It's What's on the Inside was made for nearly nothing, so it was a lot of favors and a lot of volunteer time and scrounged, again using that word again,
Mhm.
definitely scraped everything together I could to make that movie. It was
Yeah.
crazy thinking back to how I did that. I don't know how it exists, but it's
They
out
came
there.
together and it was
Watch it now on
great.
Amazon Prime Video. All
Yeah.
right, so for this one it was a similar thing where we had time but no money. So I was like, I have a location we can film, I have a whole village we can utilize,
Yeah.
and I have a space for us to live, and I can feed us, and I can do this, and I can do this. But payment is tough sitch.
For the
So
crew.
for the crew.
Gotcha.
So I couldn't get myself to be like, hey, I know you helped me on the first movie. Can you also do me
Do me a
another favor,
second.
another solid? This time, actually upend your life for 3 weeks and come out to a difference. Like I couldn't really
Yeah.
ask that. Um, so this
Gotcha.
was a new team.
Were they based in New Mexico? Like,
Everybody was from LA,
wow. So, I guess like all volunteers again, right?
essentially.
Yeah. How was that? Like for 3 weeks? Like
It's
that's some
lovely.
commitment, you know? For
No, I mean, what I try to do, similar to how like we did Beau's thing too, is we wanna pluck specific people that fit for that project and are gonna get something out of it, regardless of anything else. Like I'm not gonna. Again, let's just say, oh, did that flicker? Was that a flicker? All right.
I didn't see anything.
I think it just blinked. um, so it was all about like the cast, for instance,
Yeah.
is like I voiced what the goals were, and I understood what these actors wanted. I neither lead actor had led a feature film before, so this was an opportunity for them to stretch their acting muscles in ways they have never done before.
Mhm.
Plus, it was like a crazy time schedule too. Like we were writing the script, that we didn't have a full version of the script we were shooting until like 2 weeks before we were shooting.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
So we decided we're gonna make it. It's like we have 2 months to write the script.
Mhm.
and then we have to go and shoot it. So people were signing on without knowing what we were shooting, which was weird.
It was weird on them. Or you're like, why are you getting yourself
No,
into
it's
this?
just like a weird thing. Well, the whole thing is we just believe in each other. We don't really care what we're shooting.
Gotcha.
We ideal. There's a belief in the creative that I'll come up with something
Yeah.
worthy of us making and spending our time on. And
Right.
luckily, it was very cool.
Nice. And then that's when your moment came in of you're driving down there. You're like, I can't believe I don't have this or this, and
Yeah,
you're
we just
thinking
got
of,
the script and I'm driving
yeah.
right
You're like,
now.
I'm
All
only one
right.
hour into this drive. Yeah.
Everybody's committed. Everybody's COVID vaccinated, right? Like that was a
Yeah.
whole thing we're looking to do.
Dang.
Create our own little bubble,
Yeah.
and it was lovely.
Was it pretty crazy out there, like in New Mexico? Like, because I mean, that's where you're from, so I don't
The
know.
village we were shooting in was it's tiny. Like I
Gotcha.
said, it's like 1,000 person population town.
Wow. Oh, yeah.
No high school. It's that small.
Oh,
There's an elementary school and a middle school, and then high school. You have to go out of town to go to high school.
dang.
Um,
Yeah, that's wild.
and it was during a slow time in the town too. Like a lot of their town lives off tourism. They have like a train station and all this kind of stuff that opens up for tourists. You can ride the train and all that.
That's cool. That's fun.
Cool old timey coal train.
Yeah.
I wanted to use that for the shoot. We used the rail. We used the rail yard, but not the locomotive hadn't arrived yet, so I couldn't.
Gotcha.
I couldn't get in
Dang
there.
it.
So close.
Yeah.
But it also worked out because once it opens up, the town gets a little bit more bustly. Um, but either way, no, it was chill. Everybody we came into contact with had like been vaccinated and yeah, it was. We didn't interact with many people really.
That's cool.
It was
Nice.
chill.
That's great. I have another question before
Great,
I kind
great.
of want to backtrack because um just like I just kind of want to know how your experience was on this because with engineering and stuff, like what would a day of that look like for you if you were to get into that type of job? Like would it be like the same 12-hour days we have now? Like what would that have looked like?
The day in the life of a mining engineer.
Yeah. Cuz I don't
It's
know.
very similar to a director.
Okay.
That's how I look at it now.
Okay.
You're just a manager.
Yeah.
The difference is I'm living in the middle of nowhere, desert, Nevada,
Okay.
or middle of nowhere, desert, Arizona, or middle of nowhere, anywhere in the world.
Where's
There
the
was
middle
where
of
it's
nowhere?
where the mines are. That's where they're
Yeah.
digging up all the minerals. They're digging up all the stuff that we make our iPhones with and make our this with and
Yeah.
whatever, or even just the battery materials with. Like everything in the world is mined somewhere.
Gotcha.
So
So when you
usually in remote places. Yeah.
oh. So when you decided, okay, I'm gonna jump into this and stuff, because I know when I moved here, I got definitely a shock. I was like, I'm gonna go on set, Orange County Housewives, an 8-hour day, and oh my god, I had
Ooh,
no idea how it like actually worked. I'm like, holy crap, 12 hours times 5 days a week. I'm tired after day
it's a
one.
lot of work.
Yeah, did that ever shock you going in, or you kind of knew what to expect?
Let me backtrack to the other question really quick,
Okay.
unless you got your answer. I was gonna say it's mining engineering is managing a mine. As the engineer, primarily, I am facilitating a plan of attack on how we're gonna extract this gold.
Gotcha.
Um, I don't do the work on even telling where the gold is. That's the geologist.
Yeah.
The geologist team, they go out and they drill a bunch of these giant cores and then they pull them out and then they test it and they figure out, all right, gold is here, here, here. They throw it into a program and they plop all those points in 3D space. And
Jeez.
then you look at it and you're like, okay, gold is like down here. Let's come up with a plan of attack to like dig into that area.
Mhm.
And you just kind of commit to that. So I'm just like the guy, we're gonna dig here.
We'll
Let's dig here.
start there.
We're gonna put this many trucks on it. This is the plan. Blah blah blah. I don't know. It feels quite simple to me. It feels kind of easy,
Oh.
but um, but it's like I think they do 8-hour days. It's like a standard
Right.
American
Okay.
9 to 5. Um, from because I did intern for a summer out at a mine, and
And that's kind of what it was looking like.
yeah,
Like,
I know
yeah.
I worked 8-hour days, and it was if anything, I'd prefer to work longer days.
That's fair. And now that I'm already in this, like I feel you on that. I'm like, where's
Because
the
if
full
I'm gonna be
day?
living in the middle of nowhere, there's really nothing to do outside of work. So
Yeah.
just pay me, and I'll stay at the
Yeah.
mine.
I feel you.
Um,
Okay.
okay, so but I had done plenty of film stuff before I moved to LA too. I don't. I've never had the crazy experiences with filmmaking where we're going like over 12 and like into the night in 16 hours. Like I've never been on a set like
So
that.
you're so lucky. That's awesome.
So I credit the fact that I'm a script supervisor.
Yeah.
I land on sets that are more put together
Yeah.
because they could afford to have a script supervisor
Mm-hmm.
versus um,
Not having one and taking a lot of time to,
versus like you get into more yeah, as a PA or as on a camera, like you can end up in circumstances where you're literally shoots can be as small as we have our talent that we're shooting and I'm camera.
mm-hmm.
And that's really all you need. Like if you're doing like a
Like,
music video or
like,
something,
yeah.
like you're just and you could shoot infinitely.
Yeah.
Whatever. Especially if you have a producer and a director that are taking up all the time in the world. Whatever. You could
Right.
just shoot forever.
Yeah.
And it's annoying. I don't even recall my first experiences of long hours. I guess it's always been I'm stoked to be there
That's awesome.
and yeah, and it's just I accepted that. I don't know.
Yeah.
There was no shock moving to LA though,
Gotcha.
because I
Well,
had
dang, yeah. Then I'm like, it was crazy for me. I'm like, what? Like, when are we going home? Like, you eat after a certain hour. Crafty was like the best thing on planet Earth to me, because
yeah,
I like to eat food a lot.
snacks.
Yeah. But then I was just like, okay, I guess we're not going home. What's going on? Like, nobody told me. Like, I just remember like going over my first call sheet with my friend who got me the job on Orange County, and it just said start time, call time. That's all I knew.
So this was like your first day. You show up
Yeah.
and you have no expectation on like when lunch is
No,
or
no. I mean, it says on the call sheet like when lunch is,
yeah,
but
yeah,
then
yeah.
in reality, like it never happens. Like you're running moments behind.
What? It always happens
Not
on
for,
my sets.
not for me. Not for my first experiences. Like for months, I felt like it was
Wow.
always lunch penalties, and um, in May is when it really hit me when I was doing that Lifetime movie. I was like, holy crap, 17-hour days. For the full, I think we shot in 15 days. 15 days, 17-hour
For
days
Lifetime?
for Lifetime.
Yeah, no.
I was like, how do people
No, no,
have
no.
relationships, families? What do you have time for
They
besides
don't.
exactly like it all came to me and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this. And I remember calling my mom at that time too. It's like, do I move back to like I don't know. I don't see myself doing anything else. Like this is what I've been wanting to do since I was 11. I knew what I wanted to do. And I just had to stick it out. But after that movie, like every other thing I've been on since then, pie cake. I will just never
Pie.
work a Lifetime movie
Pie.
again. Yeah.
Um, yes. I
Yeah.
have heard. Yeah.
It was a lot. I mean,
It's
I'm
a bummer.
very
No, it's a
excited that you
bummer.
never, it makes me happy that you never got that,
Yeah,
you
I
know.
don't feel. No, 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 no,
But I mean, it
no,
happens to
no.
everybody. Everybody else I've talked to, like, that's the life. That's what it is starting out as PA. Like, you have to pay your due. You have to do.
I never had to do that.
That's
Even as a PA.
really,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know how that. It's a bummer. But no, PA is definitely the most vulnerable position
Yeah.
because you like get pre-called because you got to get there to set stuff up.
Yep.
Then you got to break it down at the end of the day, and you got to take the van to this other spot, and then you have to, or whatever.
That was the only thing, like the driving. I was like, I will not mess around with because I've heard stories. So I'll say something now these days, like I won't drive past a certain amount of hours. You just have to for safety.
Yeah,
Especially
I'm not.
because
I'm not dying for this. Yeah.
exactly like low key, but like no, I won't. Like
No, I
and
mean
I live
that's
far away from where most places are
what's
shooting.
what's your threshold then? What do you say? 14?
Yeah, that's like
13?
max. I would say 14 max. Like, but that can only be like not if it's like back to back days. If it's just like one day, where we go over, like that's fine. I can survive. I'd
Yeah.
rather not, but yeah. I don't know. Sorry, that was like a heavy question. I was just wondering like how
No,
everybody's experience
no.
is
I've been lucky.
getting into it.
I've been lucky, but I do get frustrated I, this comes because I don't know how. Okay, I think about. I had a very slow December and January. We're now
This
in
season,
February. Did
yeah.
I say we're in January earlier? I think I did. We're in
Yeah.
February now.
Today, you're right.
Today's
Yes,
February
today.
1st.
Yeah.
Um, where I had a really busy second half of last year
Uh-huh.
where I was on set a lot, back to back. And then December came, and kind of the plan was like, I have some writing projects to do, and then I got my own stuff I got to do. I'm cool with not. I didn't have anything coming up, and I'm like, this is a good month to just chill. I don't
Yeah.
have to work. I'm good. I'm happy to be in this position where I don't have to work. This is nice.
January.
December.
December, okay.
So then I wasn't on set, I think, at all in December, maybe like 2 days or something. And then January was slow. I was on set for 5 days last month. Um, so I kind of had like this big breakaway from set where I've kind of just been in like isolation.
Yeah.
uh, with a little bit smaller bursts of productivity with like working with my editor or doing writing or whatever the thing may be. So when I got back to set in January and it was a 12-hour day for like a 3-day short, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is like day one. I was like fully charged.
Yeah.
Day two, I'm like, these are long days. This is long, and this is only 12.
Yeah.
I mean, only 12. And then day three, I'm like, no,
Burned.
I wasn't burned,
Gotcha.
but the director was burned.
Yeah.
A lot of people were pretty exhausted. But for me, I was just like, oh my gosh, these are long days. Can we
Yeah.
not do this long a day? Can we
Try to
chill?
cut it down. I wish. Oh my god, I
We
wish.
can. You
Yeah.
can. It can be
It's
done.
possible, but there's producers out there that like want it all. Like they want a lot. I don't know. This is coming from reality TV.
No, it's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay, gotcha. I was like,
It's
for
everywhere.
mostly it's reality, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I don't know. Okay, this happened recently too, where uh I'm just venting here at this point.
Go
But
ahead.
we have 2 days to shoot a thing, and the expectation is let's just say okay, I don't know where this train of thought comes. I didn't go to film school. You went to film school.
I'm not even gonna claim that I did. That was
Okay.
nothing.
All right, great. Well,
Yeah.
it might be something that okay.
I got it.
Okay,
Yeah.
forget it. So I didn't go to film school. I don't know if these other people went to film school or where they get this thought.
Mhm.
But let's just say, okay, Amaya, I'm directing. You're my DP. We are paying. We have a budget, and we're paying these actors and all this stuff. We have like one day to shoot this thing.
Mhm.
Um, let's go and let's we have the script. Let's go and let's make this awesome. Let's go shoot it.
Yeah.
And then on the day, there's this thought of because this isn't me. Okay, I'm playing somebody else
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
It is um at a certain point, we're nearing the end of the day, or we're nearing lunch or something, and it's like, if we can just get this shot before lunch, we'll be good.
Yeah.
But actually, we're running kind of a crappy schedule, and we're not doing very well with time. So like, oh, we'll just go over for lunch. Like nobody will care.
Yeah.
Let's just shoot for another 10 minutes and get this done.
Yeah.
We'll be good.
Yeah.
So then you go over that, and then you're like, oh no, we're losing so and so at what time? Let's get as much as we can with them. Even I don't know. Okay, I'm explaining this very poorly.
No. No.
My thought is we have a list of things we have to get,
Gotcha.
and I have a hard time understanding why certain creatives have a hard time getting those things within the allotted amount of time.
Mhm.
Early on in the day, it's very typical for people to spend more time on the first thing than they need to because they think they have all day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we're racing to get the rest done.
Gotcha.
So there is the other thing too. Ugh.
What?
Where we have our list of things and we're getting everything we need to do. But then the director or another creative wants to get more, wants to go for another take, wants to get another setup, wants to get some bonus material, and they squeak out everything they can from the time that they have.
Mhm.
And that kind of frustrates me.
Yeah.
But I don't, but it's kind of feels like more of the producer make them get all that you can out of the money that we have.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I'm saying. Like they want to get as much as they can and just go over, you
Yeah,
know.
but it's not just the producer
Yeah,
though.
it's
The directors are doing that all day, the DPs are doing that all
yeah.
day. Everybody wants to go again and again and again
Uh-huh.
and and I'm thinking of like a rag where you're
Trying
squeezing
to
it.
wring out a rag and
Yeah.
yeah, just trying to get
Um
as much as they can out of it.
I am much more in the thought of we have a great team. We know how to execute. We know what the plan is.
Mhm.
Let's go in and do the thing we say we're going to do. And we know how much time to spend on each thing. And let's hit that. Let's hit that. Let's break for lunch early. Let's try that. I know we can go again, but no, I got what I needed.
Yeah.
I'm confident as a director that I'm happy with what we got. There's no reason to go again. So
Yeah.
let's break early.
Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of a longer lunch. And then let's come back and let's execute the plan. Oh, we got everything on the list done. We got an hour till we wrap. Yeah, let's get the bonus
Bonus
thing. Let's
material
get
or
this, and then let's wrap early.
yeah.
Like that's kind of more of the world I want to live in.
I want to live in that world too. Like believe me.
versus we have this list of things to do, and oh, let's stop. Let's get this bonus shot while we're here.
Yeah.
Let's
Or we're
just
jumping in. Yeah.
let's just go again. Let's roll. But we have to get the other. No, we're just here. Let's just roll this.
Now we're already in lunch penalty and
Yeah.
everybody's angry and nobody. You lose like people that want to work with you again. You know.
You would think. But then again, like you said, it's just an expectation. People just think that's how it goes.
That's where I was for a long time, and then I worked on things where like, especially like the union shows, like where everything's treated like very. It's like there's downsides of union, and then other stuff where it's very
Yeah.
professional. They actually care ish. I don't know.
Ish.
Yeah.
Okay, because I mean, I don't know. I hope, like, I'm thinking about day one on something good coming.
Yeah.
Uh, I forget how we ended that day. Do you remember how that went?
We did the bowling scene and then we did the bar.
Right?
And I remember that we're like, oh crap, we still have like things to get. And the one of the actors, he had like a Zoom, like he had another audition or something crazy. And we're like, what the
Yeah,
heck?
like a callback
Yeah. And so
or something.
we did good though. Like yeah, we got through it. I'm pretty sure. Like from what I remember, like got what you needed that day.
It was a stacked day.
Yeah.
And I knew on my end that we were tackling more than we should in a day, page wise, page count wise. So the only way I could combat that was sticking with my values and being like, I'm not going to go over 12 hours.
Yeah.
And the other thing I hate too, one more vent, is the rule is you have call time 6 hours after you break for lunch,
Yeah.
right? You have your half-hour lunch on a 12-hour day. It's crazy.
Right. Yes.
So 6 hours, break for lunch, half hour. You come back in and you break again at 6. I mean, you wrap before another 6 hours,
Yeah.
technically. My thought is if you have a 6 a.m. call, you want to wrap by 6 p. I hate when they do the
6:30.
the 6:30. It's like, well, we had you for half an hour for lunch. That
lunch,
doesn't
right.
count.
Yeah.
We didn't pay you for that. I'm like, yes, you did.
Uh-huh.
You're paying me to not take.
Yeah.
So I hate when they stretch it.
I feel you on that. That is a little bit pet peeve where I'm just like,
So I'm trying to remember if I'm like, I don't think I did that on. I think we wrapped.
Yeah, we wrapped
like a literal 12 to 12.
Yeah, we wrapped on time.
But I knew if I were another director, that was a type of movie, like a Lifetime-ish thing, where I could have been mismanaged and I could have pushed it. And the cast had vocalized that they were down to do as many hours as they needed.
Yeah.
They were full team players. I mean, they were in every scene of every. They were the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
So I tried to keep them on camera. I mean, try to work them least as possible, so that way they had energy to finish the movie.
Right.
But I knew that they were down. I know that camera team like Max DP and his
Hmm.
guys, like they were kind of almost, working pseudo favor.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like, what's it called? Not take advantage, but
Use them to the fullest.
I
I
don't
don't
know. Like I
know.
didn't feel, either way. So
Yeah.
it's the director can do a lot for
Yeah.
that. All right, great. Jeez.
That's a good vent though. Like you make good points, and I agree with you on like all of it. I do see all these things. Um, I don't have much room to say anything about them though, so just have to sit and watch, and
Well, you could still voice. You're
yeah.
talking about, well, the
Almost all of it though, because like I don't want to like dig myself a hole. Well, I'll never have these opportunities to work with people again, but I also want to like make sure I'm not getting walked all over. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, because you're talking about like from an AC position too, or
ACP, all that good, like below the line, and I just want to. I don't know. I want to be a team player. I do want to learn these things, be a team player, but then also what
sorry, team
team
player.
player.
I almost kind of don't like it, but
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. So I want to help out, but like also not get walked on all over. So
yeah,
it's a hard thing to kind of,
it's just about sticking with. Yeah, no, I totally get it.
yeah.
Um, yeah, you can only really do that if you're ready to lose the, which is unfortunate.
It is unfortunate, but it's real. It's like it happens, and that shouldn't be something that happens
Because I know
though.
that was one of my PA roles. I don't know if you had roles like this too. I'm sure you did, where I would tell producers or whatever that like I'm not driving my own car for tasks.
Gotcha.
So like I would drive to set, but like if you want me to go on a run or go pick up lunch, I'm not taking my car
Why was that your rule?
because they don't. I didn't want to deal with reimbursement of gas
Yeah,
or putting my car in any sort of
it makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. So I'm like that was a rule that I had. And then like so the AD or the second AD or the producer would give me their car and I'd take their car
Yeah.
instead. And I'm like, yes.
Yes. That's, I mean, that's
So
good stuff because then it's almost like then it's on you to like log your miles and then do all that
yeah, I hate that
extra. Yeah,
stuff.
me too. And there's a lot of money I've
And
missed out on just because I forgot and don't have like
it's too
actual.
much work. That's what they're counting on.
Exactly.
They save money.
Yeah.
I know I remember I picked up lunch in this producer's car and it spilled.
In his car. Oh, whoops. Oh well.
I didn't mention it though at
Oh.
all.
Oh well. I don't know. That's so bad, but I mean, I don't know. Things happen. One time I put the wrong type of. I mean, this was the producer's fault. He told me to put in premium or whatever
Oh, right, right,
gas
right.
into just a regular car, and I did, and the car broke down. I'm like, he goes, just make sure it takes this type of gas. I was like, okay, I'll make sure because I've never put this type of gas in a car before because my car just takes regular gas.
Yeah,
And so he's like,
you put fancy gas
fancy
and
gas,
then you're
and I don't
getting
remember what it's called. Yeah, fancy gas in this
not
production car.
diesel.
Diesel, yeah, diesel.
Oh, okay.
He said so, not premium. Yeah, it was diesel,
You
right?
sure?
It
Yeah.
was the other option of gas that's not unleaded.
Well, there's the three. There's like I even forget two.
Yeah.
There's unleaded, there's semi-leaded, and there's super leaded, and then there's
Well, that's
diesel and the
four
green pump
options.
over here.
It was the green. I don't remember.
Because
It was
normally
the
like
wrong
semi
type of
trucks,
gas.
normally semi trucks and big trucks operate off diesel
Yeah.
fuel.
I don't remember what type of car I was
My
driving.
motorcycle needed like the Supreme leaded one. I don't even I have to Google it, but
Yeah.
either way,
But I remember
you put
breaking this car because that's what he told me. And then it was my fault because lunch was late. We all went to lunch penalty because I couldn't go pick up the lunch because the car broke down. I was stuck at this gas station. There was no other production vehicle. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Um, that was
yeah,
also
at
my
least
first job.
it's not on you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. But you took the heat still, I'm sure.
Oh, definitely. Oh, well, they had me on for the rest of the week. So he told me. So it's not my fault. I didn't really I don't know, it sounds bad that I said I don't care, but I don't if that's what he told me.
Well, no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
I think is that's good. Okay. We're nearing the end of the show. My voice feels like it's gone. I don't know why.
It doesn't sound gone.
To me, it feels kind of raspy.
I'm kind of,
All
I
right.
don't know.
Well, what we're gonna try to do. It's not really a pop quiz for you.
Okay.
These are some frequently asked questions for cinematography.
Okay.
Let's just see.
Let's see what we got
Let's
here.
see if you can help us out in this realm.
Maybe I'll embarrass myself.
Maybe. Maybe
Maybe.
not. And it's okay if you
Yeah.
do.
I'm in my early stages. I know.
Okay, this is a basic one. Do I need a light meter? And which one should I buy?
I don't think a light meter is necessary. I don't know the options of the ones to buy, but I don't think it's unnecessary either. You know.
Do I need a light meter? The answer is no. How
No.
would you go about it without a light? What do you normally do to gauge light without a light meter?
Your eyeballs.
Let's
I
just
don't
look
know.
at it.
Yeah, let's look at it. Let's take a look. You do not need. I've only seen anybody ever use one on a set one time.
I see them all the time. I
Really?
think it's normally a gaffer thing versus the cinematographer, but I
Gotcha.
have seen cinematographers pull them out and just. I think it's so they look busy. I'm just kidding. No,
That
they're actually doing
we're
stuff.
just doing some work here.
Let's check the light.
I've only seen it one time. Yeah. Maybe I'm not on
Interesting.
the right stuff yet. I don't know.
You know, yeah. Okay. Um, let's do an easy one here because I hear this one a lot.
Okay.
Um, from this is almost from like normal people kind of question. Which camera should I buy?
Oh, yeah. I've gotten this one from family members trying to buy, aunties and grandmas and grandpas cameras. Um, uh, let's just start with DSLR. Let's start with something. I recommend, and this was my first camera that I got, was a Canon T5i. I recommend any of those like little Canon cameras for a starter
Yeah,
cam.
yeah.
Um,
And I guess it depends a little bit on what they're trying to do with it too.
yeah, like for
But
photography, I know a lot of people use Nikons. I've never used one, so I can't say that I don't recommend them, but I prefer Canon and Sony cameras. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
okay. T5i for
For
starters.
starters,
It,
if you're not, I like the Sony A7S.
Cause that one, okay, cause that, yeah, the T5i is in like the 500 range, I think maybe. Is that how much those are? 600?
Yeah, 650 I think is what I got mine for with like the kit lens.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then the Sony is more in the 12, 14 range, I think.
I forget how much I got
I
mine
don't know how much
for.
the 3 is these days.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So yeah, there's of course the different
Right.
ranges of what are you trying to do? Okay, what's your budget? Yeah.
Yeah. What was your first camera?
The Canon 70D.
Okay. Yeah.
So a little slight step up from the T5
Yeah.
or whatever, T6 or whatever they're at now.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they're at the Canon 90D. Is that where they're at now? 80D?
No idea.
80D. Yeah. Okay, let's see. What is a T-stop?
Don't ask me these questions. I don't know the T stop.
Okay, skip that.
Okay.
What is time code and how do I use it?
Isn't this a sound question?
No,
Okay.
it's on the camera.
I mean, time code is for helping syncing your audio and camera together, but I've never had to do much with it. I've only had to ever like jam things from like audio. Like
Yeah.
if audio give me something, I'll jam a camera to make sure it's in sync. We had a lot of mess ups with that on my last show I was on in September.
All is well.
Yeah, what is a T stop? You have to tell me. I should have made you a pop quiz. This is unfair.
What 16? Never mind, no, it's dumb.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. I think there was a cool one here. I don't know how to do this. Um, and I'm not sure. This is almost like you go to YouTube for this, but
Uh-oh.
how oh, chickens. Oh, here we go. How do you achieve those shots where the camera seems to pass through a window or a glass object? Do you know how to do that?
Oh, that's interesting. No?
Like you see that in movies all the time where they kind of like jib through like a house into a
Yeah.
window and they come into the person's thing and it's super smooth and like the glass is there and it kind of goes through it.
That's a good question. I'm actually curious about this myself. Is that what you mean by YouTube? That you have to look it up on how to do
Yeah,
it?
like you see those
Yeah.
behind the scenes cool things of how they did all
I
this
think
stuff.
they like build like a special set with like maybe some type of fake window or like edit it in there. I don't know. That's a good question. Yeah, I'd
I think
imagine.
it's just called VFX. You
They just
shoot.
edit it, right?
Yeah, you shoot through an actual. You take the
Oh,
window out and you put the camera through it, and then in
yeah.
VFX you put. You probably need your reverse plate. Like you need to shoot stuff to kind of like put on this window so it looks. I don't know how.
Yeah.
There's a whole thing called plates. All right, great.
I have never learned that. How did you learn that?
How did I learn what? I'm
Like,
just guessing.
oh, okay. Oh, I thought this was the answer. I was like, what? Yeah, they
No,
build
that
like a
sounds
special
right to
set for it.
me. Because I remember early on, there was a little movie that came to Reno for like some second unit stuff,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and all the everybody was super excited. This huge movie was coming to town, and they were going to shoot in Reno downtown, the casinos, our little downtown thing, and they were going to shoot downtown, and everybody was stoked. All the
Mm-hmm.
actors showed up to be background and all this stuff.
Yeah.
It was for a little movie called Logan.
Okay.
It's the Wolverine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what they were going there to do was shoot plates
Okay.
of the city. So they had the footage, the classic exterior, like the camera's mounted on the outside of the car and it's looking inwards through the window
Uh-huh.
at Hugh Jackman
Yeah.
or at the girl looking out, and they're in this like rundown kind of casino town, Reno.
Yeah. I never been there.
So, it's like Vegas. You know
At
Vegas.
Vegas,
It's
but
like
like
that.
smaller
It's like
version.
that, but older and more rundown and ugly.
Okay.
But it's okay.
So,
So
okay.
so they're just getting. They had cameras in the back of a pickup truck, and they're just getting the reflections to put on that window.
So they shot it and then they put it in post
They
and edit.
shot them on like a green screen stage,
Gotcha.
and then they had to put the reflections of the city going by. So that's what they were shooting. So
Yeah.
all of the background actors are super excited to be in Logan, in the new Logan movie,
Uh-huh.
but you're just a reflect. You're
Flexion. It's
you're
just
you're a little baby
oh
silhouette
man.
in the reflection of the city of
Yeah.
But I do remember there were actors that posted about like I'm in Logan, go see it this weekend.
And it was just like you have to maybe if you can pause it at the right
The
moment to see
zero
there's
percent,
oh that's so
the zero
sad.
percent, which is standard background work. You're
Yeah.
not there to be featured. That's a different thing.
Yeah.
I just remember it was funny.
Background, they have to stay there all day too. Like I've only worked with them like twice, I think, background acting and stuff for Friends Reunion and La Victor. I have a director's question for you.
Okay.
What do you what is a note that you would give if since for people that do cheers, what is something that
Oh,
you like
geez.
besides?
That's a great
Yeah.
question. All right. So this comes up because
Because when I shadowed you, um I'm the actors are just, they do their scene and then at the end they just kind of like improv a little and every time, almost every time they cheers, with their drinks. There's a few at the cafe, at the bar, cheers, And you're like I don't every time I just saw you shaking your head like no, don't do that.
yes. Okay. Right. I totally get it on why it comes up
Mhm.
because um so if I see it happening, I just go say don't do that, guys.
Do you suggest anything else after like
I can,
try
but
this
it's,
instead?
it's I can throw out some stuff. Okay, cuz here's I don't know, and Cheers has got to be like literally written into the script
Yeah.
and very pointful. Otherwise, it's a little bit, I'll just call it cheesy.
Yeah.
Um, where I get it as an actor, you're trying to figure out what to do
When you have nothing to
with,
say or
yeah, there's
do.
like not
Yeah.
much to play with. You have a couple of prop drinks and you have a plate of food, and the scene is with you and this girl you like or this guy you like.
Yeah.
So at the end of the scene, I'm like, okay, just keep doing stuff or do something to lead into it, or we just need this to be some additional conversation that's off. This is going to be voiceover, so it's not important what you're saying, but just be interacting, and then they'll do a
Yeah.
cheers.
You're like,
Stop
oh my
cheersing!
god.
I know you have beers and you're at a bar. I mean, I love to cheers. I mean, I cheers in real life all the
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
mostly as a joke, and because people love it. It's
yeah.
you got a nice smile on your face when you receive a cheers from somebody. It feels good.
Yeah.
In a movie, though, I'll go up and I'll just be like, yeah, I think I'll be in the direct way of let's not do a cheers.
Yeah.
Instead, okay, just I want to see more. I want to see more of this instead. Can you just look at each other, maybe like touch your hand? I don't know,
And
whatever
then
with
that's
it.
also on the actors to like do an act, you know, like try to
Yeah,
make something, you
I
know.
think sometimes negative direction can actually be beneficial, and I'll call that negative direction. I'm like, don't do this thing.
Gotcha.
So it removes it from the brain of like that's not an option anymore. I have to
Gotcha.
come up with other stuff. I think
Good
that could be
points.
just as helpful as do this other thing.
Yeah. I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. Yeah, that's cool. Good
hmm
notes to have. I
I
love it.
thought you were gonna ask for uh, DP director relationship notes, like a note to the DP if they did a
Oh,
certain thing, but
well, you can answer that too, actually, because I'll take it.
I don't know what the situation is.
Let's see.
Let's think of one. I'm trying to think of okay. So it was kind of cool on this latest shoot with Beau.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, Gianna Carly, shout out to Gianna, episode number 5 of the
Shout
show.
outs.
She had a suggestion from the actor side.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey guys, I know like we don't have time, but maybe if we do have time, do you guys want this additional shot?
Yeah.
I think that was cool because it's nice to hear suggestions.
It was cool. And then you suggested, like, let's finish up all the shots that we do need to get.
Yeah, like I was explaining
Yeah.
before, we have this list. Let's get that done first.
Yep.
Um,
And I guess if we have time and we're up for it, let's do the.
plus, I
Yeah.
wanted to buy you and Beau some time to think about it some more. Mostly Beau,
Yeah.
because I didn't want to put him on the spot of like, do you want to do this now, dude, or are we gonna?
Yeah.
So I was like, let's
Yeah.
shoot what we got now. Take the weight off a little bit, because I know. Yeah. So just
Yeah.
let
The
that
whole
feel.
director's decision. Like, you gotta go
Yeah,
do your thing.
give it some time.
Yeah.
Um, so for because that wouldn't be a really technically a moment for I don't know.
But we got the additional shot. He liked it. He loved it. It was good.
I have a great BTS shot of Beau looking over your shoulder at the
It
monitor.
was good. I liked those pictures.
Yeah, and he was having a blast. He
Yeah.
loved that additional setup. I hope he uses it. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, he's editing it, so yeah.
hmm
I'm excited to see it. He's gonna put it like post it, right? Or use it for his own.
well, yeah, we'll see. It'll be going up on YouTube somewhere. Keep an eye out. We'll
Gotcha.
post about it. But no, I guess on my side, like you got to see me and Max work.
Yep.
That's how I enjoy working with my cinematographer. I mean, especially with something I'll call that small, where we didn't really have much pre-production to really come up with anything too specific. So we kind of had some generalities and uh, uh, some borders that we set for ourselves and such like that. But I know I like to put the cinematographer in a position to where they're the ones coming up with the creative angles. Because I mean, that's what I count on Max a lot for. Is
Yeah.
like we're here to not just shoot the expected
Yeah.
shots. Let's find some unique compositions. And then like I don't know what that looks like. I wanna work with the cast and block this thing out. And kind of we did that with Beau too. It's like
Yeah.
we blocked it out first. We saw the actions, and then it's like how are we gonna shoot it?
Yeah.
Beau went a little bit deeper on the storyboarding than like what I normally do. I should storyboard more. Maybe I don't know. I like my
It was very helpful for me, so I appreciated that. But I want to also expect to not have a lot either. So
well, yeah. Oh, I mean, I storyboards super useful
yeah.
and very expected when you're dealing with larger teams. Like
Yeah.
everybody needs to know what's happening and what we're seeing, so they're useful for
Yeah.
sure. I've never really done it because it's too much work.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah.
No, I guess the you kind of mentioned it as the one thing that you want to work on a lot too is is like, let's just say when you're DPing for me, I want to be able to, I'm going to orchestrate the the cast and the blocking and work through all that without even thinking about really how I'm going to shoot it. I just want it to make most sense for story and what they're doing, how they're interacting, where the emotions are at.
Yeah.
And then once we see where they're at, you come back with some suggestions on,
Hey, I think we could get it this way.
or even adjustments on blocking too,
Yeah.
because I know a lot of DPs will fire back with like, well, like I get this is happening, but what if he comes here instead of there, because then I could frame this shot up, or like those things are really helpful too.
Yeah.
Um, so it's just that back and forth,
Yeah.
100%, and then knowing that you're confident in
Yep,
those
that's
things,
something.
which is just practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
Woo!
That's a lot.
Great.
I feel
Oh,
good about it, though. I'm
no,
excited to do more, and yeah, just having that experience has definitely opened my mind up to more things and stuff, such as starting a podcast. No,
I don't recommend
I'm
it.
just kidding.
I wouldn't recommend starting
Yeah.
a podcast. It's a lot of work. And what are you? I'm just kidding. No, it's great. It's great. It's
So,
just the consistency's tough, and it's kind of like I know I get a lot of joy out of the self challenge of just keeping it going,
yeah,
but I know like I've done enough of this stuff where it's not really too much work,
that's good.
and it's just fun. But
Yeah.
yeah, maybe
Yes.
maybe you do it. Just do it. Don't
Yeah.
listen to me. What am I saying? All right. I think we're pretty, unless there's anything burning, any burning questions, I think we're pretty
I
good.
think we're good. Yeah.
Okay, audience. Hello, you. How did Amaya do on this conversation? Pretty
How
good,
did I
right?
do?
You
I
did
think I did good.
great.
Yeah.
You were
I feel
great.
like it was a lot scarier than I thought. I don't know. Yeah.
It was a lot scarier than you thought.
I mean, it was a lot less scarier. But here I go again. I'm getting nervous. No, it was good. Yeah. Sorry.
Great. All right. So, quick recap, or I guess for those that want to keep up with the Amaya journey
Oh,
and
yeah.
be in the know on like when the stuff is coming out or what you're working on next, or hit you up for an AC gig or whatever, like
Please,
or
yeah.
DP. Where can people find you, follow you?
You can follow me on my Instagram, Amaya Papaya. I have a work page too. I guess nobody really knows about.
Oh, do you?
Yes, I'll let only. I'm trying to build it up before I like. It's private right now, but you guys can follow it. It's called Shot by Amaya. It's my work page
On
on
Instagram?
Instagram.
Okay.
Yes, and then I'm open to Facebook too. I mostly post that for the fam, so just beware.
Gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. Very cool.
yeah.
Lastly, okay, this is a thought that came back to mind, but your Instagram. No, I think your Instagram's fine. I keep thinking about that story you told about the thingy, but
Yes. Do you want to get into that? I don't know.
sure.
I'm not gonna mention names, but I was my first camera job. I had my first job in December. First camera job. I was a camera PA in February. Um, I just went out to this thing and I met a really awesome first AC. Not mentioning any names, but we tried to get connected after the shoot and everything. Just having a good time. Eating, and we're like, oh, let's follow each other on Instagram or get each other's numbers. And he's like, oh yeah, looking at my Instagram, I had cinematographer in my bio because that's what I aspire to be, want to
Hmm.
become camera. He's like, oh, so you're already a cinematographer? I was like, no. He goes, then why do you have this in your bio? Do you know anything about lighting? I was like, no, not really. Like, I know that I have things to learn. He's like, well, if you have nothing to show for yourself, like, don't put it in there. And to me, it was really embarrassing. I was like, taking this out immediately, and I did. It's
Hmm.
not there anymore. And
Yeah,
I don't know if that's good advice or like for him to give me, or if I don't know. I still kind of think about it, not in a bad way or good way. It's just,
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Um, I feel like there is this thing called unsolicited advice,
Yeah.
where the ideal situation is, hey, I respect your opinion.
Yeah.
I have this bio. Well, because you didn't really have this thought anyway, but if you did, you're like, I feel a little bit weird listing myself as a cinematographer because I haven't really shot too much.
Yeah.
Do you think it's cool? What's your opinion on me having it here? And then he chimes in and says like, yeah, actually, I don't know, maybe I would hold off on it.
Yeah.
That feels like a more healthy approach versus hey,
Like,
let's
why do you
connect.
have this? Yeah, I don't
Let
know.
me just tell you some things you're doing
Just
wrong.
tear you apart. I didn't really, I don't know. It was embarrassing mostly than it was like, I don't know, anything else, but I
I
get it
don't.
now. Like, if I see somebody has like DP in the bio, they're a DP. Like, not aspiring to be one, not PAing, and I don't know.
Okay, sure.
I don't know.
I I don't like the approach and I don't like it. But
Okay.
because my thought is, let's just say now. Okay, here's a weird thing too. Is when Beau, let's just say, if somebody is looking for a cinematographer for their small 1 day short film or just anything or whatever, and they knew who you were,
Yeah.
they might not think about you to DP their thing if you didn't have it listed that you're the
Yeah,
DP.
see? So,
So then if it could be limiting if you just say AC, then it's like, oh, I'll think about her for AC work.
and nothing else. Like,
But
I'll
I
limit
don't
it.
know that she wants to be a DP.
Yeah.
Um,
So right now I just have a camera emoji in my bio. Hopefully that works for all around things.
nice and general.
Yeah.
I know mine says director dot script supervisor, but I know I had a writer in there for a while. I took writer off. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah.
let me focus up a little bit.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. I like the idea of it being there. I don't know. It's
But
tough.
yeah, it is tough. So I'm just kind of also learning that. So that, I don't know. So I'm building a work page, that one that I just said. So I'm leaving that there, and you can get the feel of what I have it in that bio. That's for sure.
Shot by Amaya,
Yeah.
and it's private.
It's privated. I'll
Okay.
accept people. This is a debut, I guess.
You're
Yeah.
working it up.
Hello. Yeah. So just all my last projects over the year, starting fresh this year. Yeah.
I think I saw on your YouTube that you have you cut a reel.
I do. Oh, that was. Oh my God, that's so funny. Sorry. So my roommate, YouTuber, he plays Mario Kart, and James Charles. If you're familiar with makeup
Yeah.
artist James Charles, yeah, he hit up my roommate to collaborate with him, and on Twitter, this was like right when the pandemic like started, like right when I moved. He was looking for an editor. I was like, well, Troy, like my roommate, you already like know him well. Like maybe I could just edit for James Charles. Just something to start, because this is before I even got my first PA job. And yeah, so I made a reel, added some makeup stuff in it so that he could like see what I do. He ended up picking like somebody that like he lives with him now or something. I'm not trying to live with James Charles. So
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, yeah.
He's looking for a live-in editor.
I guess so. That's what it is right now.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, so that's what that was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's funny. My YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for stopping
Yes, thank
by.
you for having me. This was quite the experience. I'm glad to be
Awesome.
here. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, great. Well, thanks for listening. Tune in next time.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.